Hello, stunners. Guess what, y'all? Guess what? Today, I am dressed up just like MC. That's right. I am cosplaying as Nora Rue. I'm cosplaying as MC. Look, I have the jacket. I have the brown jacket. I have the yellow top. I have the red hair. It's perfect. Yeah. Welcome, you stunners. Thank you all for being here today. I can't wait to continue playing Changeling. This is an indie Otome game by Eshberry in the chat. Hello, Dev Stunner. Hi, Roxy. Thank you for being here. You're ready for part 2? So am I. Hi there, Glintstone Silky. Welcome, you stunner. You're radiant. Yes, I'm so excited. Screaming in the chat, as there absolutely should be. Because listen, y'all. We have a very important mission today. We do have a mission, okay? We're not just playing Changeling. Okay, we're not normal about this. No, of course not. Here's what we're doing, y'all. We are looking intentionally for a bad ending. That's right. You know what that means? It means we are actively making terrible romance decisions. The most horrible love and dating choices that we could possibly muster. The sassier, the better. The first bad ending will be considered a success. All of y'all that are always trying to go for those good endings, those true endings all the time, and you look at the guide and you skip over the bad endings, listen, okay? Listen, you're missing out, all right? Oh, that's a good point there, Eshberry. What if Marc likes sass? He might like sass. Maybe I'll be rewarded for my sassy behavior. That is a possibility. And if we end up not getting a bad ending, y'all, at any point throughout these routes, if we don't get any bad endings, we're going to go back and make different decisions and ensure that we have drama and angst, okay? And we're going to see how this is going to play out. Because I have been told that it's not so simple as getting shanked and game over, start again. Oh, no, no, no. This game has a supernatural element to it. In fact, all of the love interests are supernatural beings. So, there's a lot of interesting ways that we might potentially go awry, okay? Last time on Changeling, in the very beginning, MC and her family moved back to a neighborhood where they had grown up. MC hadn't lived there for 5 years. And the reason why they left that quaint little neighborhood, it turns out, is because there was mysterious disappearances. MC went missing twice, once when she was 9 and once when she was 12. Well, it caused quite the stir in the community, as you can imagine, and things were not easy for the family, so they decided to move. Well, now, folks, they're back, and we went back to school. We also have a rude little brother. Well, he's a twin brother. I actually don't know which twin was born first, technically. But anyways, he gives little brother energy. I guess. He's rude, okay? And we also met a whole bunch of guys, cute guys from school. We all go to the same school together. And then, rude brother, he was our ride to school. He left and went home without us. And left us high and dry. We didn't have a ride home. So the last thing we saw was Ewan. He showed up on a motorcycle and he was like, "Hey girl, you want to ride?" And I was like, "Oh, yes I do. Please give me a ride." After I had been crying my eyes out because my stupid brother left me. How dare he? And so, we got home safe and sound. That's right. And that's where we left off. Alright, y'all. We are beginning Chapter 3, Paranormal Mysteries Club. Yes! Now, my target boyfriend, I think, is going to be Marc right here, who my wager was I was guessing he was going to be a vampire, an old vampire, as in a natural vampire. Do I know this for sure? Absolutely not. I know nothing, okay? But that's my guess, okay? He's the one I think I want to romance first. I was pretty sure I was dreaming. But it was cold and pitch black. There was no sound, no sensation. I tried to move, but it was as if the darkness was weighing me down. I tried to scream, but there was nothing. I couldn't hear the sound of my own voice. I couldn't even feel myself screaming. As I waited for any sign, any sound or hint of light, I slowly became aware of the fact that I was running. The slow tingle of sensation began to creep back. My feet were crashing through what felt like underbrush. The cold prickle of wet pine needles jabbed into me as I ran. My goodness, I have to find what? I didn't know. Inwardly, I screamed at myself to stop running. Stop. No, not yet. Not yet. Whose voice is that? It was my voice speaking, but it wasn't me. I sounded raspy and weird, and I didn't even know what I had meant by that. Finally, I came to a halt. My hand reached out to steady myself against something. I felt scratchy bark against my skin. The moment I touched it, reality came crashing back. Or rather, it felt like I went crashing from nothingness back into reality. I expected to wake up in my bed, in a cold sweat, but when I came to, I was standing up. I wasn't even in my room, much less in my bed. I was in the middle of the woods, surrounded by trees on all sides. Panic rose in my throat. Did I do it again? That strange sensation of crashing back into reality was both eerily familiar and terrifyingly nostalgic. I had felt it before. How long have I been gone this time? My heart was thudding uncomfortably as I looked around and listened for search parties. It was probably stupid to immediately assume I'd been missing for weeks already, but it's not like it would have been unprecedented. There was only silence. I wasn't sure whether I should have been relieved or not, but at the very least, I must not have been gone all that long. But now what? It was dark, but cloudless. I was in a bit of a clearing, so the moon lit up my surroundings pretty well. I turned, trying to get my bearings. To my great relief, I saw the warm glow of lights through the trees only a short distance away. Was I just sleepwalking or something? That had never happened before, especially not to the point that I ended up outside. I took a deep breath and started making my way back toward the lights. It was freezing, and before I stopped to contemplate any major questions about the current situation, I needed to get back home. I would worry about the sudden sleepwalking problem after that. Something in the distance let out a long howl. Woo! shiver crawled up my spine as I looked anxiously over my shoulder. The coyote baby? It was a ways off, but still too close for comfort. I carefully picked my way through a little gully, wincing as I found a blackberry vine I hadn't been looking for. Ow, 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 ow! Ow, ow! It managed to wrap itself around both legs in no time. Thorns jabbed at my fingers as I tried to pry it off in the dark. The sudden crackle of the underbrush off to one side immediately put my heart in my throat again. What was that? What was that? I strained to see into the shadows. It might have just been a deer, but in this area did apparently have black bears. Not to mention things like cougars. There's definitely dangerous wildlife out here. We have to be careful. Everything went silent again. I was thinking of making a break for the lights. They were maybe 40 yards away, and up a little hill. I could make it. Suddenly a shadow moved. I tried to make out the shape, but it was deep in the trees, beyond the moonlight. To my relief, it looked like it was moving away from me. But when it suddenly broke into a run... What? MC said, what? Y'all, it's time to take a drink. I've got lots of water on the ready. Lots of water in my pink water bottle. What? It was almost certain I'd glimpsed something person-shaped. Someone else was out here too. But who? And were they watching me? Okay, y'all. I can run for the houses or I can follow the shadow. You know what? I'm going to save it, and then I think I'm going to follow the shadow. Because that could end up being the thing that kills me and gives me a bad end. You know? It could be. It could end up in doom. And that's what I want. But I need to save it. Exactly, Snow Monkey. Yes, it's a good idea, you stunner. I ripped myself from the blackberry vines with the thought of chasing the shadowy figure. Yep, exactly. When there's danger out in the woods, what do? We run straight over to it. That's what we do. Yep. You would chase the shadows too, Artisan. Real. Listen, okay. Who cares if we have the survival instincts and the self-preservation instincts of a lemming? Okay? You know, that's fine for most people. But we're not most people, okay? We're not most people, and we need to have a bad ending, okay? Slender Man might be my daddy. I have to find out. Slender Man might be out here in the woods. I'm just saying. It probably wasn't that smart, but I wasn't thinking clearly. I was outside at night and someone was stalking me. I wanted to know who it was and what was going on. I'd only gone a few feet before I realized that everything between me and that area was a sea of tangled blackberry vines. They were already snagging my pants, stabbing into my legs and feet. Ouch! 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 Thinking better of that decision, I retreated and decided to limp my way back to the gully toward the lights. I kept an eye out in case that figure came back, but they were nowhere to be seen. There's a bad ending here, but you made too many good choices and you missed it. It booped you back into this story, though. Saved by your previous good choices. Wow, how generous of you, Esh. Past Eshberry was quite generous. Past Eshberry let me be a trash goddess and make sassy choices. like fighting my little brother and stuff. I approve. At the top of the gully, I realized I had been just below my house the entire time. The lights I'd seen were from Elliot's back porch. Oh, we're near Elliot's house. Thank goodness. Oh, it's so good that we weren't that far away from home. What a relief. The back gate had been left wide open. I must have come out through here. Girl has a sleepwalking problem, apparently. From the looks of it, I was right. I hadn't been gone long, and the lights were still off inside. Fortunately, I woke up before I got too far. I let myself back into the yard, quietly creeping into the house and into the partially open back door. It was so weird knowing I had to have come this way, but I didn't remember any of it. It wasn't like it was unusual for me, but... Girl, here's what you need. You need some sort of lock or something in your bedroom. So that way in the middle of the night, you could go to the bathroom if you need to, but you can't leave the premises like that. Okay? You need something. I just could not afford to start this stuff up again. As I was shutting the door, I heard the sound of soft movement behind me. I spun around, startled. Spencer was there at the bottom of the stairs. I could barely make his face out in the dim light from over the stove. What are you doing? I stepped out for some air. I couldn't sleep. I wasn't about to tell him I'd gone for a little sleepwalk in the woods at night. I padded across the kitchen and tried to get up the stairs, but Spencer blocked my way. That's all you were doing? Yeah, that's it, I swear. Can you let me go to my room? I'm freezing. Wait a second. I'd been doing the creepy sleepwalker thing and had to do some serious thinking about that. But, oh no, there's tea being sipped in the chat. There is tea in the chat. You did come into the bro being sus, Milky. Welcome, you stunner. Listen, Milky. We woke up in the middle of the night, deep in the woods, with no memory of walking out there. We must have been sleepwalking. So we ran our ass back home, and we tried to sneak in without anyone noticing, but, well, here's our little brother, our little twin brother. What are you doing up? I heard you coming in. I thought it might be a burglar. Well, it's not. It's just me. Since I live here, could you please move? He didn't look like he wanted to, but he finally stepped aside and let me pass. It wasn't until I shut the door to my room that I realized Spencer had been fully dressed and wearing shoes. Why was he fully dressed if he got up when he heard me come in? Then again, maybe he'd thrown his clothes on when he thought he heard someone downstairs. No one wanted to confront a potential thief in a t-shirt and boxers. That's reasonable, I suppose. I assumed. You know what they say about assuming? It makes an ass out of you and me. But I was way too tired to dwell on that, and before I could go back to sleep, I had to pick the thorns out of my feet. Ouch! And then disinfect the numerous cuts and scrapes. That occupied me for far longer than I would have liked. I just wanted to go back to bed. When I finally fell into bed, I didn't have any more answers about why I'd been outside than I did when I first woke up out there. And I wasn't sure if there was anyone I could tell about it, not without kicking up a fuss, and I really didn't want to do that. Before bed last night, and before my nighttime escapades in the woods, Allie and I had texted quite a bit about my less than exemplary first day at school. Oh my gosh, the first day at school was horrible. Everything that could go wrong totally went wrong. The whole time! She had casually informed me that she would be driving me there and back for the foreseeable future. Or at least until I got my own car. Fortunately, she lived in the same neighborhood, so it wouldn't really be an inconvenience for her to stop by. That's nice. Much better than our stinky brother. The only drawback was that she usually had to arrive early because she did extra credit work in the office. It was mostly just filing and such, but it meant she had to be there quite a bit before class started. Which meant I would have to loiter around the school with nothing to do for a little over half an hour. You know what? You could get a book. Get yourself a book. Go hang out in the library or something, or wherever there's, unlocked places for you to hang out and wait, and read a book. Isn't that nice? I wasn't going to complain, though. It could have been worse. I had to admit that I was kind of annoyed Spencer basically won. He wouldn't have to drive me to school or put up with being anywhere near me anymore. Maybe that's why he did that. Maybe he did that on purpose so that the parents wouldn't be like, you have to drive your sister to school with you. They're like, nope, you failed. You failed and you're not driving her anymore. But then Dad informed us that Spencer had lost car privileges for the next month. Real, he deserved that. Honestly, he honestly deserved that. 100%. Dad would pick him up after school and drive him to the showroom for work. And the poor guy would have to catch the bus every morning. To add insult to injury, the car would sit unused the entire time, since I'd been riding with Allie. She's not even gonna be using it. Too bad. You left her at school on purpose. I don't think you deserve to drive the car, says Dad. Spencer, I'm already going to be working for you for a month and doing all her chores. I get it. I'm sorry. I just had a bad day. Dad, that's not an excuse to leave your sister crying in the parking lot. They were already at it when I went downstairs. I tried to ignore the fight as I ate breakfast. It is a problem. It's a total problem. It wasn't easy, especially with the looks Spencer kept giving me. He could not expect me to feel sorry for him. Yeah, I don't feel sorry for you, bro. There's absolutely no way I could feel sorry for him. I mean, he was my brother, and he was already being punished. I tried to ignore the part of me that wanted to defend him. Why do you want to defend him? He needs to be punished for his terrible behavior. It's okay for people to be disciplined by their parents when they act up like that. And there's, I am not defending you. Nope, but I am saving it. I am saving the game. I'm saving the game. I'm not defending him. Exactly, Artisan. Banish. That's what he deserves. I'm being kind to him, okay? I am being extra nice and kind to him by, letting Dad deal with this, okay? Because, listen, I want to punch him in the face. Yeah, exactly. No ibuprofen. No ibuprofen for you, little brother. Little twin brother. I'm ignoring that argument. You deserve every punishment you get. I mean, the punishment was kind of harsh, but to be honest, I kind of loved it. Ah, yes, girl. Look at her face. She's like, real. Yes, Milky, it's good to rejoice in enemies' downfall. Exactly. Yes, sue me. He deserved it this time. Exactly, girl. Yes. Yes, Rue nor Rue. Maybe it would shake him up enough that he'd deal with his issues and start treating me like a fellow human being again. If he wanted to be mad at me forever, fine, but maybe now he wouldn't go out of his way to be mean to me. Or, hey, he could maybe even try to work things out like a normal person. Besides, I'd had a bad day, too. A sizable portion of my bad day was because of him. I was just rinsing my breakfast dishes when I heard Allie honking. Moments later, I ran out the door, still trying to pull on my jacket. So, I was thinking. A dangerous pastime, especially when it comes to you, Allie. Ha ha, I'm not playing. Ah. Anyway, I was thinking you should join my club. The one you were at yesterday. Man, it's so much nicer to ride with someone who isn't ignoring me. Allie is so much better. Allie is the superior person to ride with, 100%. Also, how come MC can't drive? I just thought about that. Did I read that and then it completely went over my head? Yep, there are only a few girls in it. The only one who really shows up frequently is, well, she's kind of a bit, catty. Uh-oh, it's gonna get petty. Oh God, don't tell me it's Kara. No, thank goodness. So, you want me to join a club and deal with some other catty girl? I want you to keep me company. You'd fit in great. Just give it a try, please. In any case, if you're waiting for me to finish up every day, you might as well just join it instead of sitting around. Ah, MC can drive, says Esh. She just doesn't like fighting over the car with Spencer. It's too annoying. Oh, I see. Yes. Okay, that's a fair point. What is this club anyway? Paranormal Mysteries Club. I stared at her. MC's gonna be like, I don't want to be in your stupid paranormal club, okay? I've had enough of that in my life already. The first things that came to mind when I thought of the paranormal were UFOs, phone psychics, and those cheesy websites with articles about Atlantis and dinosaurs living in the Amazon. Hopefully she didn't mean it that way, Milky, but apparently you could take it that way. Did your friend just say that you would fit right in with the catty girls? And Ash is over there sipping tea. Ash knows things. Of course, Ash knows things. Ash is the dev. You're making me nervous with your tea sipping over there. Really? It's actually really fun. I eyed her skeptically. I was sure it was fun if you were into that kind of thing, but I couldn't imagine her believing that stuff. So what? You research Bigfoot or something? Do ghosts hunt? Do you do ghost hunts there? Do you look for aliens? Well, not exactly. But you'd find out if you'd stop by. I promise you'd have fun. Oh, those two guys that live next door, Elliot and Danny, they're both in it. Seriously? I didn't think either of them would be into that sort of thing. I tried to imagine Danny getting excited over blurry videos of someone in an ape suit. It didn't compute. You'd be surprised. Just think about it, okay? It might not hurt to give it a try, I guess. Allie let out her characteristic squeal of excitement. It would be really annoying if it wasn't so completely adorable. When we reached the school, Allie went to help in the office. I decided to stop by my locker before going to the library to read for a while. See, that's what I would do if I had to wait. If I had to wait around. It was definitely still pretty early. There was almost no one around as I opened my locker door to grab my trig and chemistry books. You could also, study, I guess. I really hoped that things would go more smoothly than the day before. Yesterday morning had only been okay because the stories hadn't spread that far yet, but by now, everyone had heard them. I heard a soft sigh and turned around immediately. expecting to see someone behind me, waiting for me to get out of their way. I am gonna see if I can turn up the sound effects higher. There's like, there was a breath that went, and I think I should make it louder. Okay, hopefully that's not too loud. Yeah, that's good. I heard a soft sigh and turned around immediately, expecting to see someone behind me, waiting for me to get out of their way. There was no one there. I looked up and down the hall, but there was no one in sight. Okay, that was weird. I definitely heard something. Chewing my lip, I shut my locker door, still listening. Okay, I can turn that up even louder. There, all the way, why not? But you heard it that time. I definitely heard something chewing my lip. I shut my locker door, still listening. Maybe it was a draft of some kind, but it really had sounded like a person. I shook my head and took a deep breath. It was probably just my imagination. I wasn't on edge because of yesterday and last night. That was all. I headed for the school library. I wonder what sort of things they really do in the Paranormal Mysteries Club. Allie had said it was fun. When I got to the library, the librarian was nowhere to be found, so I hid in a corner and read until the first bell rang. After that, I basically spent the morning thinking about Allie's club. She'd said Danny and Elliot were in it, but I didn't sit close enough to either of them in literature to ask about it. The only interesting thing about Trig was Corvin managing to fall into a knee-high wastebasket. How did he do that? How did he do that? And fall in it? Corvin must be kind of a small dude, if he managed to fit in that thing and fall in it. Chemistry was boring. Everyone had quickly realized Spencer would not engage, which meant they directed all questions at me. So I told them I'd been kidnapped by Bigfoot and Elvis. Good one, girl, good one. I couldn't wait until that rumor got around the school. Yeah, let's start all the rumors. All the crazy rumors about Bigfoot. I think he just fell butt first and folded into it like a noodle. I can honestly envision that. I could see that. That's a perfect... he's a small dude, for sure. A small dude. And I really hoped Kara enjoyed it. As soon as I reached the cafeteria, Danny ambushed me and insisted I have lunch with his group. Since it was better than eating alone, I didn't argue. Elliot was already waving at us from a table across the room, which made it even more impossible to say no. Danny led me over to where he and a few others were sitting. So everyone, this is Rue, Danny says. I shifted uncomfortably as all eyes were suddenly on me. Oh, the new girl everyone's talking about. Well, she is new anyway. Elliot says, You sitting here today, Rue? Yeah, looks like it. I was relieved that no one argued. They just moved their chairs around so I could sit sandwiched between Danny and Elliot. I mean, that's probably the best seating arrangement you could possibly come up with. Sandwiched between Danny and Elliot, yes. So, how do you know Danny? I looked over at the girl talking. I had no idea what her name was, but she had a nice smile. Well, at least she's friendly, right? Well, I moved in next door. Oh, so you're neighbors then. Is she like checking to make sure that I'm not a threat, you know? Is she like, I have my eyes on that cute boy. And I want to make sure that you are not a romantic rival. Is that what's happening here? I'm sniffing you out, girl. I nodded. Yep. That's what moving in next door meant, pretty much. Oh, she's actually nice. Okay, you never know, because some people are fake nice, and some people are nice. So we have a nice character. Look at that cutie over there. My hair, when it's natural, my natural hair is like his. On the far right, sure is. Just like that. The boy who spoke leaned across the table and grinned. So, all the things people are saying about you, are they true? James, Elliot says, come on, man. I was just asking. It's fine. And like I told everyone so far, no, most of the things being said or speculated are not true. I really did get lost in the woods. I really don't remember it. My brother really was attacked by what we think was probably a cougar or something while out looking for me. Yes, he injured one of his eyes. No, they're not sure how. It's actually nowhere near as mysterious as people try to make it out to be. It was just sensationalized at the time, you know. The news was all over it, and they were coming up with all kinds of stories. All that happened was that I got lost, and Spencer somehow hurt his eye. So you really didn't see a murder in the woods? Oh, that was Raina. Raina. I think that's about as likely as encountering Sasquatch. Maybe it was a serial-killing Sasquatch. I liked her. Well, aliens are also a popular theory. Serial-killing alien Sasquatch? Now that's just crazy talk. Everyone laughed. That's everyone laughing. Yep. And I was just relieved the conversation didn't seem like it was going to be the usual interrogation. Oh, Elliot, man. I read about something yesterday that your club totally should investigate. Oh? Bat squash. Hear me out. Bat squash. Bat squash? What? You know, like giant bats. Right? Am I right? He gestured wildly as he started explaining his supposed creature to Elliot. He's like, aliens. Do they even lift, bro? You know, like the meme? Aliens. I tuned him out and turned to Danny. Like that weirdo. What a weirdo. Oh, high schoolers, what brilliant banter past me. Truly. Listen, okay? I like it. It's cute and funny. So, I don't see Allie anywhere. I didn't see her yesterday either. Do you know if she eats somewhere else? Nellie? Yeah. I don't think she eats in the cafeteria, says Danny. Oh, I see. That was disappointing. I guess it meant I couldn't even have lunch with her. I wondered where she did eat. Maybe with the teachers or something. Though I couldn't imagine that would be fun. But even if she wasn't around, Danny's friends weren't too bad. They were rowdy, but really nice. Yeah, as long as you're nice. You know, we're cool. I didn't usually like crowds much, but after yesterday, it was a nice change of pace to be surrounded by friendly people. Speaking of the club, Danny says, Allie mentioned she invited you to join it. Oh, yeah, well. Haven't made up your mind about it? Well, I mean, I glanced back at James dubiously as he tried to convince Elliot that bat squash was a viable topic of study for the club. Do you really study things like that? Danny just laughed. No, not really. We do look into the paranormal, but I suppose it's a little more mainstream than bat squatch. Mainstream. Uh-huh. I wondered if that was more along the lines of ghosts and ESP instead of UFOs and unlikely mammals. There are a lot of stories that have much more solid foundation beneath them than bat squatch. Yep. You don't think that maybe some folklore has a seed of truth to it? I guess it depends on the folklore. I mean, if you take something like the vampires of Europe, a lot of people think that certain historical figures might have inspired some of those tales with their less than savory behavior. You know, like Vlad the Impaler was a vampire, you know? But if you're suggesting that the seed of truth is supernatural in origin, I'm not so sure about that. But it does make for a potentially interesting study topic, right? I suppose it might. If Allie invited you, then you should consider taking her up on it. It might be nice to have a new member. No, seriously. We'd love to have a new member. Hey, that's not fair. I tried to join too, you know, and your president kept avoiding me until I finally ended up joining something else, and now my schedule's too full. I thought you didn't join us because the club room creeped you out. That's not it. I mean, it is kind of creepy though. Real. I didn't even think the Mysteries Club accepted new members. Everyone I know who thought about joining ended up not doing it, Raina says. Danny, we take new members sometimes. I think people often just decide they don't have time for it. Huh. Now they're making me kind of curious. And Danny's description actually did kind of sound interesting. At the very least, it was different than what I'd imagined at first. Well, I mulled it over for the rest of lunch, wondering just what kind of club it really was. By the time school let out, I was actually in a pretty good mood. As a bonus, the day had only been a few mildly annoying moments as opposed to the whole thing basically sucking. I was relieved by that for sure. Allie showed up at my class to get me, waiting by the door while I shoved all my stuff in my book bag. We made a quick pit stop to my locker before she insisted on taking me up to the 4th floor to see the club. I'm so happy for MC that things are working out much better today. Way better today. Like infinitely better. Listen, last time, y'all, we got hit in the head with a football. We got trampled over in the hallway. Somebody swung their backpack in our face. We got a big bump on our head. And then our brother ditched us and we were stranded at school until a hottie got us in a motorcycle. It was not a good day. This is a much better day. So, did you make up your mind yet? I mean, about trying out the club. You will, right? Well, I mean, you're kind of hurting me that way regardless. Yep. It's not like you have anything else to do. That's true. I'll just take a peek, okay? Alright. I'm sure you'll like it. At the bottom of the stairs, I paused and looked up. I'd been to the 2nd and 3rd floors, but never the 4th. I'd heard it just had a bunch of empty classes. But when I was here in middle school, everyone had said it was haunted. We started up together. Are all the high school clubs up on the 4th floor? No, there are only about 5 others besides us. A lot of people prefer to use classrooms on the lower floors. Apparently, it's creepy up here. It is creepy. I have heard that. I stopped at the top of the stairs, shivering slightly as I looked down the long hallway. You want to know why it's creepy? It's because it's so dark. Why does it have to be dark like that? Real. Also, y'all, since we're at school, you can appreciate the fact that Nora and I, as Rue and Nora Rue, you can appreciate the fact that we have the same outfit on, okay? All right, we're twinsies. We're the same. I'm cosplaying as MC. Yes, I am. It just looked like the one downstairs, but I had to admit the atmosphere was different. Maybe it was because most of the lights were off, or maybe the air was just stuffy because no one really used the space much. Well, maybe they should open up the windows. It really did feel different, though. Come on! Allie took my arm and pulled me down the hall toward one of the open classrooms. I stopped outside and peered in. No one else was there. The club room itself looked pretty boring, actually. I was surprised, especially after hearing how creepy people found it. Instead, it just looked like a really normal, empty classroom. It wasn't creepy at all. Looks kind of mundane. Right? Out of nowhere, Allie practically shoved me through the door. And something happened. What? What? Take a drink, y'all. MC said, what? Where are we? Y'all, it's mysterious in here. This is a nice room. This is the nicest room probably in the entire school, if you ask me. I love vintagey looking spaces. I really do. And this is gorgeous. It's the Changeling drinking game. That's right, y'all. Every time MC says, what? Huh? Take a drink. So, what do you think? What? It looks, what? We take 2 drinks now, y'all. We had a double what? Thank you for redeeming drink actual water, Roxy. That was perfect timing, especially for a double what? Huh? Exactly, Milky. Looks a lot bigger when you're inside it, doesn't it? I stared at her slack-jawed. We're like, huh? What? She had the most infuriatingly smug look on her face. Bigger? Yeah, it looks bigger. And completely different. Where did all this stuff come from? Where did... Now Nora's being dramatic. The girl. Exactly. Gasping Otome protagonist. What? Huh? I looked at the hallway. It looked as normal as ever. But the classroom was now brimming with furniture and decorations that had definitely not been there when I first looked in. I rubbed my eyes. Though I'm not sure what I expected to do. What I expected that to do. Was I dreaming? No, I mean, obviously I wasn't. But how? I think that deserves a drink too. A how? Ah. Hydration is good, We appreciate MCs that are real confused and keep us well hydrated. I shook my head and walked back out into the hall. It looks totally normal from out here, and... Allie! I couldn't see her anymore either. Oh no. I burst back into the classroom where she was again, along with all the decor and furniture. Wow! I don't understand. What is going on? My head was spinning as I tried to work this out. Mirrors or something? It had to be mirrors or something, right? I knew you were one of us. MC's ability to rationalize, literally everything is crumbling. She can't cope. Real, she's falling apart. It's too much for poor MC. She grabbed my hands and squeezed them, grinning at me happily. Whoa! Whoa! Back up! One of us what? A paranormal, or a cryptic. Some refer to us as supernaturals as well. Wait, who said that? Oh, a paranatural. You know, he would say it like a supernatural, a paranormal, something like that. Yes. Marc? You sound uncertain. Wait, had he been there the whole time? He was standing in the corner by a large bookshelf, a book in hand as he glared at me with the usual disdain. Why are you still judging me? Still judging me? No. I know it's you. I just have no clue what's going on here. He shot Allie a strange look and huffed an annoyed sigh as he snapped the book shut. He was like, so irritated. Yes, you gotta be mentally flexible. Well, I guess that's confirmation that everybody is supernatural, including MC. She's probably still awakening, but I mean, she's obviously one of us. She's here, right? If she wasn't one of us, she wouldn't be able to see the club room. I studied Allie worriedly. Allie, you're kind of starting to creep me out. What do you keep saying? Why are you saying this? One of us. Like I've just been inducted into some sort of creepy cult. Also, paranormal? Cryptic? Eshberry says Noru is not mentally flexible. I should have had her flip that coffee table and just hulk out. Yeah, right? No! What's happening? Why? Why is this my life? Okay, calm down. Take some deep breaths before your blood pressure gets dangerously high. I know this is confusing, but I can explain. Yes, please. Please explain before Noru has a heart attack. Very amusing. I don't want to take deep breaths. I want to know what's going on. Take a deep, real though, girl. You probably do need a breath. Okay, well, you're a logical person.
Just put two and two together. Clearly, this isn't a normal classroom, right? Well, yeah. There are two possible ways to explain what you've experienced. Science or magic, right? Because obviously doesn't happen when you walk into a magical room. You start talking like a crazy cat. Because Snow Monkey has redeemed. Read the next line in the crazy cat voice. Imagine if that's the way everyone is just forced to talk the moment they enter the club. Wouldn't that be fun? Alright, I'm Marc. Okay? I'm new to judging all of you. Okay? I'm the only cool cat in this place. I'm too cool for school. My name is Marc. Meow. Yes, I'm a snooty, rude, mean boy. Yeah. Although I'm totally better than everyone, especially you. More rude. I'm way better than you. I can't believe I have to share space with you. I'm so way too good for this. Yep.
That's what happened. There are two possible ways to explain what you've experienced. Science or magic, right? Oh, hi, Stucky. Welcome, you stunner. Thank you for being here. Y'all, Stucky is a streamer stunner. So if you're not following Stucky already, go give her a follow. She does really fun, cute, cozy games, most of them featuring animals. Yay! It was a gift, says Milky, the crazy cat. You know what? You do keep coming in on the cat voice. That's been like a thing. It's happened at least 3 or 4 times. At least 3 or 4. Science wasn't my forte for sure, but magic? I think I need to sit down. Allie helped me to the nearest sofa, and Marc produced a glass of water from somewhere. For all I knew, he pulled it out of a hat. Is he magic? Oh, are we gonna find out what form of supernatural these characters are? You know, I didn't think that MC's bestie, Allie, was also going to be supernatural. I mean, I suppose I had the thought that it could be possible. Here's my guess. Okay, I'm gonna say that Allie is a witch. That's gonna be my guess. My head was spinning like crazy. Magic? Allie was not trying to tell me that this was some kind of magic room, was she? Or even before that, was she trying to tell me that magic was real? Feeling better? Not really. Allie just laughed. I glared at her. This is not a laughing matter. I was having a crisis. Are you telling me that magic is a thing? A real thing? A thing that actually exists in a real, practical way? Yes. And this room is magical. Yep. And I'm magical. Most likely. I stared at the door. I could see the hallway outside. It looked perfectly normal. There was nothing near the door that could explain what happened when I entered. No visible mirrors. No cameras. No projectors. Wow. Nora's being the one math lady meme. Yeah, she's like, what? That's Nora right now. Yeah, she has the equations just all over floating around. I took a deep breath and let it out slowly. At lunch, someone said that this club doesn't take new members much. This is a club specifically for the supernatural members of the student body. Obviously, normal humans can't be permitted to enter. Typical humans can't see this room. Not as it is. As you noticed, from the outside it looks like a normal, empty classroom. From the inside, it Still looks like a normal empty classroom to people normal to normal people. Yes, in fact, the spell on this place actually repulses normal people so they don't even want to enter it. That's why everyone's like, oh, we don't want to go there, it's creepy. That's why there's a spell. A spell? Like a magic spell? I'm gonna scooch up now, so that way I don't have to project my voice. I can just get close to the microphone and save my poor voice. But I wanted y'all to enjoy and see my outfit because I am cosplaying as MC. See, Stucky? Me and Noru? Look at us. I'll do the pose. See? My hair over my hand like this. Okay? Doing the pose. I'll see if I can make the face. See? Look. You look. Look. We're the same. I am MC, y'all. I'm cosplaying as Noru. A spell? Like a magic spell? Yes, girl. That's what they just said. That's what they just said. Yep. Actually, let me go back to this menu over here. Because that went a little loud. That's better. All right. This is how Alice felt when she fell down the rabbit hole. Oh, totally. This is exactly how Alice felt when she went down the rabbit hole. Real. Actually, I was pretty sure Alice handled that way better than I was handling this. I took a deep breath as I listened to Allie's explanation. A spell is designed to protect the club from discovery. It can alter memories, perception, or even the room's location if it needs to, all toward that end. I was still trying to get my head around all of this. I mean, logically. I knew none of this would be true. I knew none of it could be true. But here was Allie, someone I trusted and knew was down to earth, and she was telling me that this was real. Maybe it was a prank, but I really didn't think Marc was the sort to play pranks. Based on our meeting the previous day, I was almost certain he didn't have a sense of humor, and Allie wouldn't do something like this to me. Not today. I looked up at her, and she patted my hand gently. But real though, what other explanation is there for a magic club room? So, I can see this room because I'm not normal. That's correct. What about you? No matter how confused you are, there's always time to throw shade at Marc. Exactly, Eshberry. He's not funny. He's unfunny, she just said. He's catching strays. Well, I'm a witch. The magic-using kind. Y'all, that was just a guess. That I said earlier that Bestie was going to be a witch. And I was correct. I was right. Y'all, I'm getting a gloating privilege for that one, okay? I win. I get to gloat because I was right about what manner of supernatural Allie was. I didn't even have a hint, you know? She just gave me like witchy vibes, you know? Yeah. I tilted my head slightly. Oh, okay. I actually hadn't expected that answer. Yeah, well, now we have to figure out what manner of supernatural MC is. What type of supernatural entity do y'all think that MC is if you have not played this game? I want to know. Bet's in the chat. Not sure what I did expect, though. Okay, let's assume for the moment that instead of thinking you're just insane, I believe you. How did you know I was what did you say? Cryptid? I mean, you invited me to the club this morning, so you already knew, right? Marc says, cryptid is the word you're looking for. We're not animals. Oh, Stucky says maybe a vampire. I think that's a good guess. But I don't think that MC has displayed a desire to drink blood. You know? Hey, remember in the first part of it, when there was a fairy circle in the backyard, and we got really angry when our brother kicked over a mushroom. What if MC is a fae? MC could be a fae. MC could be an alien. Where an MC sleepwalks? Ooh, a pixie. Ooh, I like that, Stucky. I think that's a good guess. A fae could work. You know, is a pixie a type of a fae? Right? I'm gonna say MC is like a fae of some sort. That's my guess. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you, Stucky. I'm with you. Cryptids are creatures that can't be proven with science. But cryptic is just a name some people adopted for us. It's shorter to say than paranormal or supernatural, so a lot of us go with it. Hey, unless there's a test on it, I'm not interested in vocabulary at the moment. Is she always this sarcastic? Usually. It's worse when she's upset. Real. It's sort of like a litmus you can use to tell how close she is to having a complete freak out. She is about this close to a complete freak out. We're gonna melt down. We're gonna spiral out of control. We're gonna pass out. Ah, I see. I'm right here. And what I'm interested in is how you knew I was a cryptic, or at least why you thought I was. Listen, Rue reminds me of her mother. Nor Rue, she reminds me of her mother. Yes, you know, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. We're gonna get sassy, and we're gonna start blathering a whole bunch of things when things are not going our way. Yep. Yeah, the apple and the tree are close together. Your internet died right before I could tease you all about trying to guess what Nora is when it's literally the game title. Changeling! Oh! Does that mean we're going to have the opportunity to pull this voice out of this right here, y'all? If Noru starts cycling through identities and forms as a changeling and assuming the identities of other people, this is what I'm going to start doing.
Maybe read some of her lines like this.
Because, maybe not with the delirium line. You know, because that's a little crazy.
Maybe this is what's going on in her head, though.
Well, listen, if I take the delirium away...
You know,
If MC, as a changeling,
starts having, like, an identity crisis or something...
This would totally work perfectly. It'd be perfect.
100%. This is what I'm gonna do.
I'm just waiting for the opportunity.
And you know what I'm gonna do?
I'm going to keybind this sucker.
Yes, I am. Just in case.
Just in case, because it might come in handy.
Okay.
Artisan, the guess is real. Internet death is real too. But see, my next question will be what manner of supernatural is a changeling actually? You know, is it a shapeshifter? Is that what a changeling is? Are they aliens? Are changelings aliens? They could be. I'm right here. And what I'm interested in is how you knew I was a cryptic. Or at least why you thought I was. Yeah, they could be ghosts, aliens. Why not, artisan? Why not? Blood pressure. Ellie. Okay, calm down. The reason I knew was because of Corvin. Corvin? What does he have to do with it? Remember that book he dropped? Yeah. That weird, creepy one. I'm guessing this is going to be Corvin's voice. I'm guessing. It wasn't just a book. It was a grimoire. It was Corvin's voice. I was correct. Corvin was standing at the door, as if he'd just come inside. Man, if this was a prank, they were really going all out. But at this point, I had a feeling that hoping it was just a prank was pointless. Marc's lack of funny bone aside. Marc catching strays. Allie didn't look like she was joking. Yeah, maybe a changeling is a type of fae. And in that case, if that's true, then Stucky and I would be correct. And it's not creepy, by the way. Don't call someone's grimoire creepy. Hey, Cor. So, we were right about your friend? Well, you can see for yourself. Welcome to the Paranormal Mysteries Club. Rue, right? A changeling is a fae who got swapped in. Oh! Swapped in? What does that mean? As usual, he was pretty bubbly. He waved at me from across the room. Did you say it was a grimoire? Like a magic book? That's right. The normal people can't see it. So when you so kindly wanted to pick it up for me, I knew you couldn't be a normal human. Ashbury says in folklore, they steal a human child and replace them with a fairy child. Well, did that happen to both of them? Because we're twins. We have a twin brother. The human gets raised by fairies, and the fae baby is raised by the human family. It works slightly different in the game. That's the folklore version. Wow! I wonder how our twin brother plays into this. Thank you, by the way. That was nice of you. If I'm not normal, then what am I? A witch or something? And does this mean Spencer is magic too? Because I really don't think letting him have magic is a good plan. We always have to take every possible opportunity to throw shade at Spencer, because out of everyone in this game, Spencer deserves it. Okay, Spencer definitely has a role in all of this, says Ashbury. Uh-huh, yes. Spencer has been acting sus lately. Real sus. Who's Spencer? My brother. My very paranoid, emotionally delicate brother. While I was speaking, Corvin wandered over and sat on the table next to the sofa. Oh, it's part of why he's so cranky. That's the only treat I'm getting. Hi, Snow Monkey. Thank you for redeeming Treat a Pup. Let us do that. Guess what, puppies? You have a benevolent benefactor. Who wants a treat? Yes? Yeah. You get a treat. You want to know why? Because you're good dogs. And let us continue our story. While I was speaking, Corvin wandered over and sat on the table next to the sofa, and immediately overturned the glass of water Marc had given me. Oh, not again. He jumped back up as a cascade of water ran down his pants and down the arm of the couch onto my lap. Of course, that's exactly how it happened. Sorry. I was still too shocked by the whole magic thing to even react. That's how girl is really not taking this well. She's so shocked. She's so flabbergasted and can't quite compute that she gets water dumped all over her lap and she's just like, she doesn't even react. Wow, Noru, things are hard for you today. It's hard for you, girl. He looked around, presumably for something to wipe up the water with. I just sat there, staring at my soaked jeans dumbly. Allie, perhaps you could. Don't worry, I've got it. Annoying as that was, this should prove it to you, Rue. She flicked her hands towards me in a strange, circular motion and chanted something under her breath. What? MC said, what? If it said today's boyfriend, then I could have been, and if it had beau on there, it could have been today's beau friend. Get it? Today's beau friend. I really am getting super hydrated right now. That's real, Esh. Real. What? I felt an undeniable wave of warm air and looked down to find that my clothes were completely dry, as was the sofa. Maybe that's the real reason why, oh, I'm gonna, sure. I was gonna hit accept. Listen, y'all. Anyway, I got distracted by a Twitch thing that just happened. I patted my hands over my legs in wonder. Oh, hi, hello, Raid Stunners. Thank you, welcome, hi. Thank you for being here, everybody. All right, y'all, here's what's happening right now, all right? MC has just discovered that she is, in fact, a supernatural being. That's right, she didn't know her whole life, and all of a sudden, it kind of makes sense why she went missing in the past as a child, right? And then why she has these magical abilities to see things that no one else can see, like the grimoire, like the room we're standing in right now with the people in the club. Turns out only supernatural beings can see this stuff. Yep. She just figured it out. She is a stunning beauty. Also, I'm cosplaying as MC today. We have the same outfit on. We have the same hair and everything. Now, let us continue our story. I patted my hands over my legs in wonder. There was no sign that they'd been soaked through only moments before. Thank you, Jujin. Whoa, y'all. MC said, whoa, what? Take another drink, y'all. Every time MC says, huh, what, we take a drink. Yes, we do. And MC is keeping us well hydrated today. Well hydrated. That even dried my underwear. Creepy. Really, Allie, come on. His pants were still soaked all down the front. Maybe if you'd learn to actually read the mood for a change. Corvin, it wasn't on purpose. Help a guy out. Air magic really isn't my forte. Corvin made his best attempt at sad puppy eyes. Allie sighed and rolled her eyes before repeating the hand gesture and chanting she'd previously aimed at me. This time I saw something. It was some kind of hard to describe. The air around Corvin seemed to ripple and the water was suddenly just gone. This is real, isn't it? Allie turned back to me. I knew I was gawking up at her, but I couldn't help it. I mean, none of this was possible, except I was watching it happen. No mirrors, no tricks. Thank you, MC, for your NPC line list. It's helpful now. Yes. This was the real thing. Well, hi, Choco Milk. Welcome, you stunner. Y'all listen, okay? Choco Milk is also a streamer stunner. So, if you're not already following Sleepy Bug, first let me say this. Sleepy Bug, y'all, also does visual novels and a lot of Otome games and things. So if you like those kinds of things, also you should check out Sleepy Bug. And if you like a variety of different games, check out Choco Milk. Yeah. We're doing verbal shoutouts right now because I'm in between shoutout tools. Yes. This was a real thing. Oh my God. You're telling me that I can learn to do that kind of thing? Now that we don't know. There are a lot of different types of cryptics, not all of which have inherent magic. And we don't really know what type you are. Oh my. I did it. Poor Noru, her brain is fried at this point. Real. It's so real. I did it literally. I did a literal shout out with my voice. I'm so smart. Listen, Sleepy, I'm a genius. It's about to get worse though. Still waiting for an upcoming moment. Ashberry has been drinking tea in the chat. It's gonna be horrible. Something bad's gonna happen to us. There are many that are non-human. Wait, if I'm some kind of non-human thing, what about my family? You're saying my parents have basically been lying to me all this time? Not necessarily. Someone can be a cryptic without their family knowing. For instance, if they were infected by something that changed them. Like a vampire. Exactly. Like zombies? No, like vampirism or lycanthropy. Yeah, I guess that's a little more less traumatic than a zombie. But zombies could be a thing. You know, who said there couldn't be zombies? I'm not a vampire. Wait, vampire? Poster boy looks like Adrian from Miraculous Ladybug. Look at him. I don't know what Miraculous is, but I can see it, you know. Here's what my guess was, okay? My guess, and I don't know yet because I'm just learning what form of cryptics these are, what kind of supernatural beings these are. And it's fun fact time, okay? Listen, my guess was that poster boy over here, Marc. Today's poster boy for Rue. My guess is that he is a native vampire. That was my guess. And my guess for Corvin is that he was a wizard because he had a magic book. Ashberry says, when we were writing this, we referred to Marc as, wait, I can't say that, spoiler. What? He's giving Fae King? You know, that's what Milky said the other day. Milky said he looked like a Fae. After you learn what Marc is, I'll tell you what we nicknamed him during development. He is a Fae. He's going to be a Fae, isn't he? I'm going to be wrong about him being the old vampire. And then Milky is going to gloat. Milky is going to gloat for an entire month and I'm never going to live it down. Yeah, okay. All right, fine. Fine. Okay, we're going to have to find out. Who's the vampire? I'm not a vampire. Wait, vampire? No, you are most certainly not a vampire. Hey, why are you saying that in such a snooty way, mister? Why are you judging me? All the time. You're always judging me and I don't appreciate that. But infection isn't the only way for humans to acquire supernatural abilities. Aside from being born with innate magic, there are lots of reasons humans develop powers. Being descended from paranormal creatures is one reason, like having Fae or Elvish blood somewhere in your lineage. What if he's an elf? You didn't say anything about elves, Eshberry. You said nothing about elves. Yeah, usually when I'm writing, I refer to everyone as snarky nicknames. It's how I entertain myself. You know what? That's real. For real. None of the allies are elves. Okay, well, I guess I can forgive you for now. If one of these allies turns out to be an elf, though, you're not going to hear the end of it from me. Real. Elves are Fae? What? What? Is that true? Stucky. What? Elves are Fae? They are? What? I'm shocked. Does that mean that Legolas in The Lord of the Rings is a Fae? You know? Or like Santa elves. Oh, good. But he looks more like a Lord of the Rings kind of elf, you know? He does have pointy ears. He does have pointy ears. What if he is a Fae and I was wrong all this time? What if he's like Oberon or something? There are many cultures that have creatures they call elves. And they're Fae beings. What? The Lord of the Rings elves kind of separated them. In some folklore, even demons and witches are considered at least tangential to Fae. Fairy lore is really broad. Some ghosts are considered Fae as well. Wow! Okay, so a Fae is like more of an all-encompassing, like magical being type of a thing. Interesting. Interesting! So like a fiend would be a Fae, you know? I summoned a fiend. That'd be a Fae. Remember we were talking about Spriggans yesterday? I do remember that. They were believed to be ghosts of giants, but were also Fae. Wow! So that means like a pixie would be a Fae. Elves are Fae. I knew that poster was looking at me weird. Fiends aren't Fae, in your opinion. They're demonic. Wait. So a fiend is not a Fae? It's a demon? And demons aren't Fae. Ghosts and demons aren't Fae. Okay. Okay. Alright. Well, what's a leprechaun then? Is a leprechaun a Fae? A leprechaun is a Fae. Yes? Yeah? What's a druid? What would that be? Anyway. Leprechauns are Fae. Okay. All right. I'm kind of getting it. I'm getting it. Druids are people. Okay. Because they're people that would commune with nature and they could use magic. If it were Dragon Age, there would be the Fade. You know what? I haven't played Dragon Age in a really long time, but I think I kind of remember that. Sort of. Dryads, Hamadryads, were tree spirits, and would be Fae. Okay, let me ask you about this, okay? Does this have any connection whatsoever with Greco-Roman mythology? Because that's where I know more. So I know a nymph, for example, or, you know, which has connections to things like dryads. In older mythology, would a nymph essentially be a fae? Druids use magic from the natural world, says Milky, and maybe blood sacrifices. Oh, okay, so they were using blood magic. Natural magic. Jujin. Okay, so fae is magic voodoo. Demonic is weird magic voodoo. But what are we then? We're a changeling. So we're a fae. We are a type of a fae. Stucky says dryads, hamadryads, nymphs, naiads. Those are all Greco-Roman. Right. So those are all like, they came from Greco-Roman mythology. So they're forms of fae. They're basically their version of fae. Okay, all right. You want to know a fun thing that things like nymphs and dryads and stuff used to have in the ancient mythology, in ancient Greco-Roman mythology, is pet humans. They used to have things like a pet man, you know, you could have a man as a pet. I think that's hilarious and great, you know, pet man. Yep. I'm learning so much today. I had no idea about most of this stuff. I love this. I think as well, individual stories like Akotar or like Changeling also just apply their own rules to what is considered a fae, and it may not align to historical folklore about fae, says Eshberry. Real. Yeah. It's like in a story like this, you can kind of create your own world, and then it can all make sense by you can combine different types of supernatural elements together, and it would make sense that way. Stucky says demonic is like evil magic voodoo, in my opinion, while fae is magic voodoo. It's generally not malevolent, but the fae are proud and easy to slight. Yeah, like I hear fae would be like, they'd be more mischievous than like straight up demonic type of evil, you know? Yeah, exactly. Esh says in Changeling, an elf would be a fae. In The Lord of the Rings, I'm not sure he'd use fae to refer to his elves. Stucky says you don't think Tolkien would say them. Okay, Stucky agrees with you, Esh. Stucky agrees. Milky says if I was pampered enough, I would be a fae pet. You know, I would too, if they treated me real nice. You know? I could be a pet human. Just make sure that the enclosure that I'm in is up to par, you know, up to snuff. I could do that. Yeah. Well, y'all, I have learned a lot. Thank you, chat, for educating me. That was fantastic. I loved every second of that. And now I feel like I have more context going into the rest of this story, because I was getting kind of confused, I'm not going to lie. Real. And Corvin was talking about elves and stuff. Elves? If you did, there's a good chance your parents wouldn't even know, depending on how far back it was. And fae blood can lie dormant for generations before rearing its head again, says Corvin. He was talking to me about elves. I gripped my forehead tightly. I could almost feel my brain being crushed under the weight of all of this. Seriously? That's exactly like this whole experience that I'm having as well. Thank you for the lurky turkey. Have fun editing. What everyone is trying to get at is that there's lots of possibilities. If you ever demonstrated magic before, it's probably just developing right now. And probably for reasons similar to what Corvin just stated, says Marc. So, now you're telling me I'm not even human. I'm a fairy or something? Oh, yes, thank you for redeeming Stretch. Yes, we're getting a stretch in. Allie says, calm down. No one is saying that. I don't know anything for certain just yet. Corvin, There are ways to find out, though. Some of them just take time. I don't think I want to join them. I don't want to join this. I don't want to be part of this. I mean, suddenly being not even human. It felt gross just thinking of the idea that I wasn't even what I thought I was my whole life. I didn't like it. I caught that look the three of them shared. I just offended them, didn't I? I offended them. It's just that you don't really get a choice. What? Y'all, MC said what again? Take a drink. We're well hydrated today. Just listen. If you think about it logically, people like us can pose a huge threat to human society. If not because we have unusual abilities, then because by not keeping the secret, we could disrupt things. There are other reasons as well, says Marc. But those are the primary ones. As you can imagine, there are organizations in place to govern people like us, since normal law enforcement can't really do it. Organizations? Like? Ali says, like government organizations that keep track of cryptids. So now that Part of the reason this club exists is because we kind of help keep an eye on the cryptids in the school and the town as a whole. You mean there's more than just... Wait, Danny and Elliot are in this club? Everyone, all my neighbors were all in the club. That's right, Corvin says. So they're also cryptids. There are quite a few others. Once we discover someone new, we're obligated to report them and bring them into the club. The Cryptic Registration Office lets students register through us because it's less stressful than having to go to the local agency, says Ali. And Corvin chimed in. But people who don't cooperate with us have to deal with them directly. It's way better to deal with us. I mean, they're not dangerous or anything, but still. The agency is definitely full of weirdos. You don't want to meet any of them anytime soon, Corvin. So, I don't get a choice at all. Look, it sounds all scary, but it's not. Your world is about to become really amazing. And think about it this way. What happened to you and Spencer as kids may be connected to this. That wasn't entirely implausible, actually. We're like, well, that's actually possible. Remember when we were little, you and Spencer used to always tell me about the things you saw out in the woods. We were just playing, though. Were you? I thought I was. I ran my hand over my face, thinking about that. It was so long ago. My memories were understandably fuzzy. I remembered that Spencer and I had imaginary friends. Maybe these friends weren't exactly imaginary. Maybe they were actually fae and creatures and things that only we could see. Sometimes they would come and talk to me at night and... Was it possible all of that was actually real? Then, when I vanished, when Spencer was attacked, the things he'd said back then... We can help you research that. Maybe find some answers. Maybe find a way to help Spencer and fix whatever broke there, says Ali. You really think I could do that? Sure. If you learn about yourself, surely you'll learn something about your twin as well. Gaspy gasp, says Eshberry. MC is being the math lady meme again, putting pieces together. She's like, oh, you mean all of those times that I was talking to imaginary friends and stuff and pretending that little people were in the backyard and we were hanging out with them? It was real and it wasn't just my imagination making me think I'm seeing a little elf person right there. Okay, we must save the game. Okay, we saved it. Now we can make a choice. You said my family might not be cryptics, though. I don't think those incidents have anything to do with this. I want a bad ending. So I'm going to say the second one is probably a bad ending kind of a choice. Okay, we'll see what happens with this. I don't think those incidents have anything to do with this. I gripped my head tightly, trying to absorb all that. I was overanalyzing again. Just because Spencer and I had active imaginations as children, it didn't mean it was real. Yeah, we have to deny the truth, okay? That's how we're going to get a bad end. I think, maybe. How could getting lost in the woods have anything to do with any of this? I could not accept that. I couldn't join the club under some false hope it would magically fix things with my brother. That's a nice thought, but I don't think this has anything to do with any of that, Allie. It's not the first time something strange has happened to you. You can't rule out a connection. I didn't need a reminder about that, especially not after last night. In fact, the weird things that had happened to me in the past just made this even scarier. That's why I didn't want to think about it. The things Spencer had said back then made this too scary. He'd called me a monster back then, and now everyone was saying I might not be human. You know what? Spencer was right when he was like joking around in the backyard saying that we weren't human. He wasn't just kidding and joking around and like teasing us. He was like being real about us not being human. I stood up abruptly. I can rule out anything I want. Bro, don't get mad, please. I'm not mad. I just don't want anything to do with any of this. But you? What? I have to, because someone is going to force me? How is that fair? Right? It's true, Esh. I'm not going to gloss over that. Spencer was right. He was being an ass about it, but he was right. Okay? He's still a jerk. Exactly. I whirled around and headed for the door. I had to get out of this room. I had to get somewhere I could think. And Allie... She could have at least given me some kind of warning about all this before just springing it on me. Why did all of this start happening as soon as I was finally home again? Why? Why? Rue, wait. Don't talk to me right now. I need some space. I fled to the door, determined to leave. I didn't even know where I was going, just out. Just away from here. Someone stepped through the doorway just as I tried to leave. Can you please move? What? Whoop. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What the heck? Wait, stop. Is that Ewan? Is that motorcycle guy? Wait a second. Is that motorcycle guy with no head? What happened to his beautiful head? I liked him with a head. What? Is he a what are they called? A Doulahan? Is he a Doulahan? Why does he not have a head? Esh, you said nothing about no heads. You said nothing about no heads. Nothing. He is a Doulahan. What the heck? That means he's a fae, because a Dullahan is a type of fae, though, right? Okay, then fine. All right, I said, what did I say that he was? I think I did guess that he could be a fae. He has a head. It's just not on his neck right now. Excuse me? What did you just say? What did you just say? Oh, stop. What? It's not on his neck right now. Ashberry, Ash. I have a very important question to ask you, okay? I have a question, okay? Where is this man's head? Is it? I don't see it. Let's look around. I do not see his head. Why would you go walking around and not have your head on your body? Okay? Where is his head? How is he walking around? How can he see? What? What's happening in the chat right now? I can't keep... What? There's TV tropes for this game at tvtropes.com. It got expanded. You're famous, Ash. You really are. Also, where is this man's head? Where is it? I think this is the only one of my games that has a TV tropes page. Really? You know, we're going to have to look up and see if we can see others, okay? Look up Gilded Shadows. That could be in there. You know, that's a popular one I've heard of people talking about. He's holding it, but I did not have the time or energy to draw his sprite holding it. Oh, okay. So he does have... It's hidden in his pocket. It's invisible. The text makes it clear he's holding it in a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah, why does he have green smoke in there? That's a good question. And why is it green? A villain color. What? Is he a villain? He is a bad boy. Look at how he's dressed. I do like a bad boy. Yes, I do. You didn't want to draw gore. Real. We like a bad boy. My words trailed off to a terrified squeak when I looked up at the boy I was speaking to. He had no. My vision blurred, and my entire field of vision narrowed in on the empty space above his shoulders and the whole gaping hole where his neck should connect to his head. Stunned, I turned back to Allie, though I don't know what I was intending to say. My airways constricted, and for a moment I forgot how to breathe. My knees started to go all wobbly, and I knew I was about to hit the floor. Rue! I think I'm going to pass out now. She is super dramatic, like real. You is Ruth, there's so many jokes about his head. I bet. And with that, everything went black. Oh my gosh. Under the bridge. I was probably out for no more than a few minutes. When I started to come to, I realized I must be lying on the sofa. I could hear the others arguing. You could have at least tried to catch her. My hands were full, as you might have noticed. Brenna, it's not funny. His hands were full. Marc, couldn't you have reached for her before she hit the floor, says Corbin. They're talking about me. Marc says, I didn't see a need. I highly doubt a fall from that height would seriously harm her in the first place. Allie says, are you calling her short? I have to warn you, she's always hated that. That jerk! I'm not short, just a little vertically impaired. Quit sassing me. Okay? Okay, Marc? Also, hi, Marc. How's it going? Yes, why didn't you catch me? You were supposed to catch me, you know? Tripping and falling and fainting equals romance, okay? You could have caught me. I groaned and tried to open my eyes so I could tell him off. Listen, okay? If you're in an Otome game and you trip and fall, 9 times out of 10, you end up in somebody's arms, looking romantically into each other's eyes, while the wind suddenly begins blowing in your hair. And all of a sudden, everything turns pink, and there's hearts floating all around. That's what happens. Yep. Yes, it happens. Rue, are you okay? Corvin wants to know. The first face I saw was Corvin's looming over me, looking concerned. Ashberry says in Steamberry games it's 50-50 if falling makes you end up face first on the ground, though. Real. You made us face plant today. We fell and landed on the ground, and none of these men standing around here were even going to try to help. They're just like, oh, watch her fall on the ground. And Marc's like, she's fine. I didn't see the need. I wasn't going to help her. I wasn't going to help her. I was just going to let her fall on the ground and injure herself because I don't care. You want to know why I don't care? It's because I'm better than everybody. I'm better than Rue. I'm better than Corvin. I'm better than Allie. And I'm better than you. Yes. Easy. You don't want to move around too fast just yet, Corvin says. I thought I saw... You did see it. I bolted upright. Ewan says, it was me. Sorry. I didn't know a newbie was in the club, or I would have stayed away. I stared up at him. His head was where it should be. Thank God. Oh, I didn't recognize you without a head. That does make things difficult, says somebody. Somebody, but we don't know who. Who's this? Hi. Hello, stranger. Look at all these people on my screen. There's so many people. The unfamiliar black-haired girl was still laughing. I didn't find the situation at all funny, to be honest. I don't think we've met. Is this the one who our bestie said was Catty? Is she like a cat person? You know, Catty, because she's a cat. Watch. The eyes look a little catty, you know? It could be. The girl bounded across the room, pushed Corvin out of the way, and bounced onto the sofa right next to me. I'm so smart. I'm a genius. I called that. Ashberry says she's 100% a cat person. I was right. Listen, y'all. I'm going to gloat about that all day. She had no concept of personal space. She was practically sitting on top of me. Brenna, that was my foot. Ow, Corvin. Brenna says,
Meow, so you're the new girl. Meow.
She looked up and down almost as if sizing me up. She was pretty, but her gaze made me feel really uncomfortable.
Meow.
She leaned in really, really close, staring into my eyes. A deep frown creased her brow. I stood carefully just to give myself some space to breathe. Corvin stood too, reaching out to steady me when I swayed slightly on my feet. Are you okay? I'm just trying to work out at what point I fell down the rabbit hole, so I can maybe climb back out. Corvin patted my shoulder gently. Corvin's so supportive. Maybe Allie should take you home now. I don't think we really make this very easy on you today. Sorry. It's been a while since we had a new member in your exact position. Yeah, the trick with the headless boy blocking the doorway isn't one I recommend for new members. You probably don't want to start with that, you know? Don't lead with headless guy. I'm so glad that he has his head on right now. Because, listen, okay, he's hot. That's a big reason. Funny, says Ewan. Oh, come on, Rue. Coy's right. Probably best to get you out of here for a little while. I didn't argue. I definitely had enough of the Paranormal Mysteries Club for one day. Real. Allie led me out of the room and I just followed obediently, still in a daze. The moment I stepped into the hall, the voices of the others completely faded away. I looked back once, but all I saw was an empty classroom. How does that? I mean, if someone sees us, walk out of there or something. Like I said earlier, this spell is designed to do what it takes to protect the secret. It can alter perception or even memories to ensure that no one notices anything. I see. I know it's a lot. I'm sorry. If I could have warned you, I would have. Please don't be mad at me. The more I thought about it, the more I realized she probably couldn't have done things differently. It's not like I'd have believed her if she told me the truth during the drive to school. As much as I wanted to, I couldn't really fault her there. And maybe she's not allowed to say anything, you know? They probably have to keep it a big secret from the normies. It's not your fault, okay? I just feel a bit overwhelmed. That's understandable. I'm sorry I freaked out. I'm sorry we scared you. She put her arm around my shoulders as we headed toward the stairs. We didn't say much for the rest of the walk to the car. You know what this reminds me of? Like when there's a TV show, you know? Like Full House or something. And then it like scenes to the school. And then it scenes over to the bridge. You know? And in the meantime, it's like, everywhere you look, there's a heart. Da-dun-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. And you're lost out there and you're all alone. Somebody's waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look. Dun-dun-dun. And then everyone in the little entry there, you know, they're all like this. And then their name shows up, you know? That's what happened. That's what happened just then. I almost spilled dog treats all over the floor. The dogs would have loved that. She's 100% a cat person. Pretty real. Right as Allie was about to get in the driver's side, I stopped. This is all real, isn't it? I'm not crazy. It's real. And you're not crazy. At least no more than you were yesterday. Cute. After you've had some time to process it, it'll probably seem a lot less scary in the end, despite everything. We're all pretty much just normal high schoolers. Someone was walking around without a head. In what universe does that constitute a normal high schooler? She just laughed slightly and motioned toward the car. Come on. Was it like this for you? I mean, when you found out you were a witch? I guess it wasn't so sudden. I started seeing things, weird things first. I thought I was going completely bonkers, and I was afraid to tell anyone, especially Mom and Dad. Mom is busy with her research and Dad is busy with the company. I didn't think either of them needed to deal with their daughter losing her mind. She gave me a long, serious look. Oh, look, she's got sad puppy eyes. What's wrong, Penny? Why are you going, woof, woof? I tried to deal with it alone for months. And you, at least, have the rest of us. It'll make a big difference. It's important to have friends to help you go through a change in your life, real. I managed to get myself into some serious trouble. There are a lot of pitfalls in this world if you don't know that they're there. Normally, we help educate people and get them to read up and learn things on their own so they know what to expect. I didn't have anyone to do that for me, though. Alright, Milky, here's what you missed, you stunner. Well, it turns out we've discovered that we are in fact a supernatural entity. We are a changeling, which I have learned is a type of fae. And we had a long discussion about that in the club room, which is a magic club room. You can only see it if you are yourself a supernatural being, yes. And while we were in said club room and we were trying to process the knowledge that we are in fact a changeling, well, we don't really know what kind of supernatural we are at this point. We don't know what we are. We just know we're supernatural. Okay? We're something. We're something! Okay? Well, we were about to leave, and then all of a sudden, Ewan walked in with no head. Milky, he had no head. He had no head! Okay? Green mist was coming out of his neck. Alright? And then we really freaked out. We passed out. And everyone was like looking at us like, oh my god, girl, are you okay? Are you okay, Noru? And I was like, no, I'm not okay. I don't want to be one of you. Well, it turns out that Allie is a witch. Yes. He had no head, Milky. No head! No head! Which, you know, was slightly upsetting because he's got a beautiful face. We are a supernatural being, and we have been all our life. And now, as we're, you know, growing up and stuff, it's starting to, you know, manifest. Well, Ashbury said he had a head, that it was just accidentally detached. Listen, Esh, I just feel like that would be something that you'd want to do something to ensure that that never happened on accident. On accident. You don't want to accidentally lose your head. You know when people are like, oh my god, I'm losing my head, or they say, oh, don't lose your head over that. He took that to a whole new level. Don't lose your head over that. He's like, oh, I already did. I totally lost my head, literally. Yeah. His inability to control is part of this storyline. Wow. I managed to get myself into some serious trouble. There are a lot of pitfalls in this world if you don't know they're there. Normally, we help educate people and get them to read up and learn things on their own so that they know what to expect. I didn't have anyone to do that for me, though. Poor Allie. That's so horrible and rough. And you had to just go through that and figure out everything on your own. That sucks. I nearly died. My magic went completely haywire, but this one particular wizard helped me. He introduced me to everyone else, and I realized I wasn't alone. Okay, y'all, we're gonna figure out who the wizard is now, right? We're gonna be told. My guess before. I guessed previously that the wizard is Corvin. Let's see if I'm right. I was right about Bestie being a witch. I was right about that one. When did this happen? You never said a thing. Well, I mean, of course you didn't. Texting me with, hey, I'm a witch, was probably the last thing on your mind, but I wish I'd been there for her. I was freaking out as it was. I couldn't imagine dealing with all of it completely alone. No support. Even if I couldn't have known what she was dealing with, I felt like a really crappy best friend. It was almost 3 years ago. No need to worry about it now. Of course, now that you do know, you better be prepared for all the rants about magic and every witchy thing, like brooms. People actually ride them. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how they manage it. Having a stick jammed between your legs is the most uncomfortable thing ever. Real. I couldn't deny that it sounded uncomfortable when she put it that way, and rather suspicious, to be honest. Yeah, you know, a stick jammed between your legs. You could have phrased it a little bit better. Girl. Haven't quite gotten the hang of it then. Yeah, no, definitely not. We had a good laugh over that. And I found myself so relieved that Allie was, well, still Allie. I knew her crazy secret, but it felt like nothing had changed, except the topic of the conversation. It was comforting. She dropped me at my house, promising she'd text to check on me. After the drive and the hot shower, I was able to put things into perspective. Millions of people dreamed of something magical happening to them, and here I was, having it actually happen to me. Who'd have thought? Okay, I could do without the headless fellow club member thing. That was creepy. Why is he headless anyway? And the thought of being a fairy or something was just outright weird and still uncomfortable, but it was still kind of cool in a way. You know, I'm special. I went to bed promising myself to have a more open mind the next day. The next morning, I woke early and texted Allie that I'd meet her down by the neighborhood entrance instead of at my house. I thought a morning walk would help clear my head and get me prepared for the crazy that awaited me at school. And I was kind of worried about facing Mom and being able to act normal. She always had the weirdest knack for figuring out when something was bothering me. I wonder if our parents are normies. You know? If we were a changeling, I'm having thoughts. Thoughts are happening. Okay? But we look like our parents. I was like, what if we were... But see, we look just like our mom. Wait a second. We have the same color as our mom. Our hair. Our hair is the same color as our mom's hair. Our hair is the same color as our twin brother's hair. The only one who does not have this exact same hair color is our father in this family. The only one. The only one. Is Mom a changeling? She is, isn't she? I bet she is. Mom is totally a changeling. Totally. I still needed time to get my head around all of this before trying to work out how to successfully keep it from my family. Milky says changeling children are fae kids who are put in with humans. Yes, but Esh said that it might not work exactly the same as in the legends, as in the lore. It might be a little different. She did not specify how, though. But if you were a generic throwback, you could be a fae. A genetic throwback. Okay. Y'all, I'm suspicious. Especially Spencer. I couldn't deal with him while this was hanging over me. I just quickly said I wanted to take a walk before school and slipped away while Mom was getting ready for work. It was noticeably colder than it had been the day before. Well, it was the middle of October after all. In a couple of weeks, we'd already be into November. The leaves were all just waiting for a good fall storm to come and knock them down. I adjusted the strap of my book bag and tipped my head up, taking a long, deep breath of cool air. Walking in the morning sun made yesterday afternoon seem even further away. Everything was just normal. The world looked like it always had, and yesterday was seeming even more like a weird dream. It was hard to brace myself for something that didn't even feel real yet. I shook my head slightly and kept walking. Ahead of me was a little creek and a bridge that went over it. It's so cool. I'd been wanting to take some reference shots, though I didn't think I had time. It might not hurt at least to stop and get some ideas for angles, though. Real, we're thinking like an artist right now. Allie had to drive by to get to the entrance anyway, so it's not like I'd miss her. I slowed my steps as I reached the start of the bridge, peering down to where the creek turned away and vanished into the trees. Pretty. It is pretty. I actually quite like this. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to take 1 or 2 photos while I was there. I reached into my bag to find my phone. You definitely have to take pictures. Who's this? Who is this? Come by. Come by. I paused, tipping my head to the side. What was that voice? I stood still and listened. Sure enough, there was a faint voice muttering in raspy singing song. It sounded like it was coming from under the bridge. Is it a troll under the bridge? And it was raspy. Currants and gooseberries, bright fire like barberries, figs to fill your mouth, citrons from the south, sweet to tongue and sound to eye. Come by, come by. Someone really is under there. The creepy voice, which continued to sing, conjured images from every old fairy tale I'd ever read. There's always a troll under the bridge, y'all. Still, I wonder if it's a homeless person. It could be. If I listened carefully, I could hear them puttering around down there as they hummed. It was awfully cold for someone to be staying under the bridge. I bet the neighborhood association would have a heart attack, too. I probably shouldn't look. I didn't really want to look. But I mean, whoever it was couldn't just stay under there. It would probably be best to let someone know so they could help them find a more reasonable shelter. Girl really is analyzing this. Like a lot. Noru. I found myself carefully picking my way down the embankment, one hand on the lower edge of the bridge to steady myself. The voice stopped the moment my feet started crunching through the dried leaves. Shoot! What if it's someone dangerous? You thought about that only just now. It could be dangerous. Only just now. She always tries to fully rationalize her dumb choices. Real. Serious. Yes, she does. Listen, most people would have been like, just keep walking. Ignore it. It's probably a homeless person or not. If not someone homeless, it's going to chomp you, you know? It could bite your head off. My heart was in my throat as I carefully peeked under the bridge. What would happen if somebody tried to bite Ewan's head off? I'm just asking for science. I expected just a craggy old man in dirty clothes. Whoa, hi. Hello. Whoa, we have to look at this. This is very detailed. Wow. Wow, look at him. Wow, I really like that design. He definitely looks like a fey creature. Is that a Spriggan? Is that the Spriggans you were talking about? Instead, I came face to face with impossibly large moss green eyes and a mouth as wide as my head, giving me a toothy smile. That is a Spriggan! Wow, like a sprig, like a branch. I froze. The eyes blinked. I blinked. Whatever it was reached toward me with a gnarled hand. I let out a shriek and staggered backwards. You're back. You came back. Yeah. Creaky joints unfolded and huge feet shuffled toward me. The thing was massive, much bigger than I'd realized at first. I tried to scramble away. Come with me. I'll help. I know how to help. I threw my book bag at the creature's face and tried to run up the slippery embankment. A clammy hand clamped around my wrist, pulling me back toward the creek. No, let me go. No, I screamed again, desperately trying to pry the fingers off. It is a really cool design. Let go! Let go! Its grip tightened, and it chuckled with that rusty voice. Come away. Come. I looked back, terrified, as it dragged me down the creek bank. Suddenly, there was a heavy weight against my back, and two soft hands covered my eyes. Don't look. You mustn't look at goblin men. That's what the old poems say, isn't it? The whispered voice was familiar. That girl from the club yesterday. What was her name? Brenna. Help! Meow. Come on now. Let her go. There was a soft, menacing hiss next to my ear. And suddenly my wrist was free. I tore myself away from Brenna and, nearly in tears, scrambled back toward the bridge. I clawed my way up the side of the embankment and bolted for the entrance, my heart still in my throat. As my feet pounded against the pavement, I heard a hoarse, raspy voice wrestling after me, but this time I couldn't make out the words. By the time I reached the entrance, I was completely out of breath. I kept looking over my shoulder, expecting to see that thing clambering up the road for me, but neither it nor Brenna was anywhere in sight. Is Brenna like the Cheshire Cat and just disappears? What was that? A few minutes later, I saw Allie's car crest the hill and come quickly toward me. I sagged with relief, barely waiting for her to stop completely before climbing in. What's wrong? I swear, I could never hide anything from her. Something was there. Something under the bridge. Allie glanced at the rearview mirror. Something. I shook my head, still trying to catch my breath. Just go, please. My voice was completely hoarse. I wondered if anyone heard me screaming. And what had Brenna been doing there? I suppose I shouldn't question that. She definitely saved me. Allie and I drove in silence, but she kept giving me sidelong looks. I kept checking behind us just in case. Allie was nice enough to wait until I calmed down before asking about it. And that was just about when we reached the school. Okay, now tell me. I don't know. I was going over the bridge, and I heard a voice. I shouldn't have looked. I definitely should not have looked. What was it? What was it? I don't know. It looked vaguely person-shaped, but it had huge teeth and eyes. It tried to grab me. I pulled up the sleeve of my jacket and showed her the distinctly hand-shaped mark on my forearm. Whoa, are you okay? I nodded. Oh, come on. Let's go up to the club room. I don't want to sit out here in the cold. I just nodded again, and followed her as she started out into the school. How'd you manage to get away from it? She was speaking quietly. There was no one around to hear us anyway. Brenna actually showed up and helped. Brenna did? Why? She just doesn't usually get involved in things unless she has to. I guess that does kind of narrow down what it might have been, though. How so? Well, normally something like that could have been just about anything. There are tons of nature spirits, elementals, ghosts that lurk about. But Brenna typically doesn't take an interest in things unless it involves the Fae. Why is that? Well, she is one. A fairy, that is. I'm just glad she was there. It was trying to drag me into the woods. Well, for the time being, I think it would be best if you don't go checking out any more voices until you've learned a little more about this world, especially this time of year. This time of year? There's always a peak of activity in the paranormal community before Halloween, and Samhain. It's best to be a little cautious this time of year. No more checking out weird voices. And until you've learned a little more about what to expect and what to avoid, no more walks by yourself. I could definitely agree with that. I looked at my forearm again. It was going all mottly and purple. It was definitely going to bruise. Come on, let's go up. You can stay in the club room until you calm down and feel better, okay? What about class? Well, we're given a little more lenience when it comes to being late. I mean, a lot of teachers are cryptics, you know? We can get you a late pass. What? Y'all, MC said, what? It's time to drink water. It's good to hydrate. And the principal, too. Has this always been the case? Well, you didn't think there would be a club of paranormal and magic people in the school without staff knowing, did you? Real. The truth is, there are a lot of places that are sort of hubs for the supernatural community. This town is like that. There are a lot of us here. So the school is definitely a bit of a haven for people like us. Walking into the club room wasn't quite as weird as yesterday. At the very least, this time the weird shift from reality to not reality was less jarring. We're not surprised anymore. And it's familiar now. I went straight to the sofa and flopped down face first into a throw pillow. Is it always like this? Well, yes and no. I mean, it's always pretty wild. But you quickly learn how to handle it all. When to stick your nose in, and when to stay out of things. Here. I looked up to see her holding out a bottle of water for me. I took it from her as she sat down. And I will drink that water. I'll drink to that. Thank you for the water. Here's the plan. I think you should go to the library and do some reading. The more you know about other cryptics, the more you'll be able to handle situations that come up. That's important for all of us. Knowledge is power and all that. What about you? I'm gonna call the agency and have them check out that bridge occupant. The agency? Yeah, the Cryptic Management Agency. We kind of mentioned them yesterday, remember? Yesterday's a bit of a blur, to be honest. I just remember something about a registration office. It's part of the agency. Like I mentioned, there's actually a government organization dedicated to dealing with the paranormal. And they're the reason I couldn't go hide in my closet and pretend that none of this ever happened. Basically, yeah. So some government agency handles things like bridge occupants. Well, yes and no. The Department of Paranormal Regulation is an umbrella organization for several smaller groups, but those are all federal groups. Locally, we get a management agency. A management agency. I guess you can think of them as being similar to local law enforcement. They have several departments that are all basically trying to keep the peace where cryptics are concerned. For the most part, they protect humans and try to keep cryptics from disrupting normal society. I see, I think. It sounds hard. It can be. A lot of cryptics fit in with humans, but so many of them just don't. They're too alien, too wild. Some aren't even sentient. Anyway, the local agency has a department that handles this sort of thing. Containment and control. That would totally be a tricky job. Real, I agree. And doesn't the club, work with them or whatever? Yep, I do too. Personally. Part-time. But not everyone in the club does. Anyway, no need for you to worry about any of that. Right now, I want to show you something you're gonna love. She stood and led me to a door at the back of the room. I followed behind much more slowly. Is this something that's gonna freak me out? Definitely. It's definitely gonna freak you out, 100%. Hi, not Laura. Welcome, you stunner. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yes, I do. Hi. You're like here. You're like, I'm totally lurking, not lurking. All right, not Laura. Let me just tell you really quick what a brief piece of information that you need to know at this point in the story. We have recently discovered that Nora is actually a supernatural being. Okay? We can see things that normies cannot see. Ash says Noru asks this as if she hasn't freaked out about literally every single thing so far. Real. Listen, Noru. Everything freaks you out. When has it not? I ask you this, okay? When has it not? Because real. Yes, okay, so that's what happened, not Laura, most recently. Also, there was a Spriggan, it reached out. It was like a forest fae Spriggan creature, and it tried to snatch us. But then there was someone named Brenna who suddenly appeared out of nowhere and rescued us. That's what happened. Also, no one can be in this room. You can't even see this room if you're a normie. So you have to be a supernatural being to be able to be in this room that we're in at this very moment. Yep. Also, remember Ewan, the hottie with the motorcycle? Ewan turned out to be a cryptic. Not a cryptid, a cryptic. That's what they call them. Dude walked in without a head. No head. None. No head. At all. Yep. And then Corvin, he has a grimoire. That's why I think he's the wizard. It's a whole thing. Seriously, it's a whole thing, y'all. Oh my gosh. Yep, too bad, says not Laura. I love a man with a bike, but no head sounds scary. He did get his head back later. I guess he was holding it. Ash said he lost it on accident. That's what happened. It was a whole thing. Allie says, yes, but in a good way, I promise. I watched her dubiously as she rapped 3 times, then pushed the door open. I peeked over her shoulder, wondering what exactly she thought I was going to love so much in what I had assumed was a closet. Milky says I'm okay with no head, as long as he doesn't lose track of it. As long as he doesn't lose it altogether. Real. That would be really pesky. Yeah, you don't want to misplace your head. He has lost track of it before, Esh says. Imagine being his mum, and you just find his head in the laundry basket. And then he's like, oh, that's where my head was. Ash, can he see through his head if it's not on his body? Can he see? I guess if it was in the laundry basket, there's laundry blocking your view. That would be horrifying. I would be really upset if I was mom. If I was his mother, I would be upset if that happened. Really upset. What? Y'all, MC said, what? Again, it's time for a drink of water. Ash says, no. His mom is super chill. She takes it in stride. Wow. In his route, do we actually meet his parents? I'm curious. Yes, not Laura. We all thank you for redeeming drink actual water. What good timing you have. Ewan's mom is more like, Ewan, love, I found something of yours here. You don't meet his mother, but you meet his father. And you said his father is interesting. I love this game, you guys. I'm having so much fun. This is so fun. I love it. Yes, I do. What? Oh, his father is the Fae parent. Is he half a Fae then? Surprised. What? Again. Delicious. Yeah. I was surprised. You know what? I've been reading for a couple hours. You definitely need water. You need to hydrate. And Noru is making sure that I'm well hydrated and I'm well taken care of. Thank you, Nora, for being such a derp. Thank you for redeeming drink actual water, Roxy. Yes, I'm so hydrated. Yes, now that we're all hydrated, let us continue our story. There was a massive library of awesome hiding behind that door. Wow, it actually wasn't something scary and bad. It was an awesome library. I actually quite love this place. I like our secret little club hideout, you know? I love this beautiful library. Of course I am. What is... How? That deserves 2. What is and how? More water. More water right now. This has to be some sort of space-bending alternate dimension craziness or something. It's something like that. She took my arm and pulled me into the library. My morning had just gotten about 1,000 times more awesome. Real. Basically, Rue, just about anything is possible with magic. I swear she stops being stupidly shocked at everything when you get into the actual love interest route. Ha ha ha. Her brain is waiting for her at the start of Marc's route, sort of. I am so glad that I voiced her like this. Huh? What? Hey? Hi. I'm MC. Derp to derp. Because I feel like it's been quite fitting. We can get it to multiple places. From the door to our club room. But from inside the library, that door will only lead back to the club. Her brain is waiting for her at the start of Marc's route. Sort of, says Eshberry. Sort of. What a vote of confidence that was. Like, Is that why you knocked like that? Yeah, the different patterns and numbers of knocks determines where you end up. It's obviously a limit, so none of the patterns are too complex. Okay, this whole thing is weird and scary. I'm not entirely sure I'm okay with any of it. But this part is so damn cool. Oh, is my little bookworm excited? Yes, she is. I thought you meant I should do reading at the school library or something. Ha ha ha. Allie laughed as she waved to a bookish man behind a dark wood desk. He immediately left off what he was doing and came toward us. Exactly, Ash. It's true, she's in an Otome game. Her brain power is inherently limited by the plot requirement for her to do dumb stuff repeatedly. That is a requirement for all MCs of all Otome games. When has any MC from an Otome game not done derpy stuff and said derpy stuff and been like, huh? What? That's why it's a drinking game, because it happens every time. Every time. Okay? Yeah, he's a Dullahan, Milky. Real. Ewan is. Oh, is a motorcycle like the horse? You know, it's the steed. That's why he has a motorcycle. He had to modernize. Oh my gosh, that's so smart. Wow, I like that. Oh, who's that? Is he dateable? I don't recall seeing him before. Hi, handsome stranger. Can I date you? Do you have a root? What manner of supernatural are you, sir? Can I see your teeth? Or your ears? Are they pointy? Ash, how come everyone that you draw or that's created, everyone with a sprite and everyone has a sprite? Why is everyone hot? Why is everyone hot? Can I date him? Ro, this is Vilos Yovinu. He's one of the caretakers of this place. And he's also a wizard. He's a wizard! He's a wizard! Can we date him, Esh? Oh no, you just said tradition. You just said tradition! Esh, how dare you? He's the beautiful, wonderful side characters. He's the undateable side dish that everyone wants but can't have, isn't he? That's what he is. How dare you? I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight now because of this. It's nice to meet you. He really didn't look at all like a wizard. But he nodded politely. Vilos. And I like his name. He's got a hot name. Vilos. He's not even the most popular forbidden snack in this game. He's not? I'm shocked. Because I want him. And what can I do for you? Allie says, Vilos, this is Rue. I told you about her. Ah, yes. The new member in the club, I recall. He had a fairly prominent accent of some kind. It sounded like he might be from Eastern Europe somewhere. Then again, for all I knew, this entire library was in Eastern Europe somewhere. I have no idea how to do an Eastern Europe accent. I can't even imagine at this particular moment what that sounds like. I'm sure I've heard it before, but my brain is not rapping. Esh says, I think if Ewan's dad wasn't married, he would be. But since he's taken, there's someone else who beats out Vilos for most popular side character. Yeah, it's a hot librarian wizard with an accent, Milky, and we can't date him. Ash was doing this. Ash was like this. And then I created this awesome side character who's super gorgeous. He has long hair and he's really hot. He's got piercing blue eyes. And also, he's a wizard, okay? And he's magical and he reads. and he's in the library, you know? He's extremely hot and he's good-natured. And guess what? Guess what? Y'all can't play him. He has no root. You can't have him. This is Esh typing. This is Esh typing. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly how that went down. And then this other popular character that we haven't met yet is probably even worse. It was probably even worse. You were 100% doing that. Yes, you were. Well, there was kind of an incident this morning. He raised an eyebrow as he looked at us over the top of his glasses. I was just about to go contact the agency. In the meantime, I thought Rue could just stay here for a while, maybe read up on various cryptics. Since she's still kind of new to all this, I was thinking she could start with something basic and go from there. Just something to start getting herself educated, especially considering how close we are to Sam Hain. Yes, this is a dangerous time to just be coming into this world. Dangerous? What exactly is so dangerous? She said something about an increase in paranormal activity. I'll try to explain it later. In the meantime, I'm sure we can locate some useful information for you. If you'll follow me. Well, that wasn't at all foreboding and concerning. I wandered after him, still looking around at all the books. What about when class starts? I told you not to worry about that today. Just stay in here and read for a while. Velo stepped behind his desk, shuffling around for something in a stack of papers. What sort of cryptic are you? I don't know. Sorry, we're still kind of fuzzy on that one. I see. Then what particular species would you like to research? If you're a beginner, I would recommend one of the more common species as a starting point. Many of them have subclasses you can delve into for further reading if you like. He slid a sheet of paper across the desk toward me. Perhaps something in this sheet. Fairies. Natural-born vampires. An infected vampire. This is the roots. I have to save it. I have to save it. Yes, I do. This is where I have to guess. I'm not going to be told by the game what Marc is. I have to choose. Okay, y'all. It's time to get serious. It's time to get serious. This is a very important moment, okay? The buck stops here, okay? No more messing around. Marc. Yeah, it's a stealth selection or I wouldn't have revealed it. Raffle. Good luck, says Milky. All right, well, I have to decide if we... Okay, first of all, let me ask you this. Okay? Let me ask you this, Esh. If I'm looking for juicy bad endings, would you recommend Marc or would you recommend somebody else? Like, would you recommend Ewan instead? Would you recommend whoever the third one is? Elliot or somebody? If I'm looking for the juiciest bad endings, you can go into the extras menu and look at the ending lists. I can. Okay, let's do that. Okay. We saved it. It's in the extras. It should give you your answer without me revealing anything. All right, okay, listen. Okay, Milky is right, okay? Ewan is a Doulahan. He's got to be the fairy. You're right. Okay, we're going to see if our wager, okay? If I was right in any of these things, if I was right with this stuff, then I get to gloat. That was my prize. If I'm wrong, then Milky gets to gloat. That was the deal. Okay. All right, y'all. My guess, drum roll, okay? I thought that Marc over here is a natural-born vampire. That's what my thought was, okay? However, several others had some good arguments that he could be a fae. However, we already know that the Doulahan is a type of a fae. So that means the fae, unless there's more than one, is Ewan. That means we have either natural-born vampire or we have infected vampire, okay? I think that Marc is going to be the natural-born vampire. Let me tell you why. Okay? He's bougie. He's rich. He probably comes from an old vampire family. He's got gold earrings on and gold watches and stuff. Also, he might have retractable teeth. He does have sort of pointy ears. Kind of pointy. Okay? Also, I have not had an opportunity to see if this man's reflection shows up in a mirror. Okay? It's time to check the settings and see if I was right. He's snobby, he's pretty, he's rich, and I bet you anything he drinks blood. He's got 2 pages. Ewan has 2 pages of bad endings. What? Oh my gosh. He's a sad boy. He's gonna be a sad boy. You must really hate Ewan-ish. You must really hate him. You're like, screw him. He's gonna die a million different ways. It's gonna be horrible. His life sucks. Oh wait, it just said he's a vampire. I was right, y'all. I was right. What works on vampires? Right there. Right there. I was right. Listen, what is a vampire if not a glorified cannibal? Milky, I was right. I was right. I get to gloat. I get to gloat for days. You were wrong. You were wrong. I was right. Rue was right. Listen, y'all. Rue is a genius. You see, right there. It says right there. He's a vampire. I get to gloat. Okay, because I was right. Okay, well, what about this one? When life gives you vampires, didn't I say he was going to be the young vampire? Didn't I say he was going to be the new vampire? Didn't I say it? And now I can tell you that during development we called Bargain Bin Edward Cullen. No! Listen, Milky, okay, don't ever challenge me ever again, okay? Rue was right. Rue is a genius. I'm a genius, okay? I knew it! I knew it! Rue was right. Milky was wrong. Rue was right. Milky was wrong. Rue was so right. Okay, these are the 3 that we have the choices then. Okay, these are right here. These are the 3. I'm going to go with Marc because he's today's boyfriend. Okay, he's today's Okay, y'all. Let's continue and see what's about to happen. Natural vampires seemed like a good starting point. I felt like you couldn't get much more basic than that when it came to weird magic things. Yeah, real. She just called Marc basic. Always catching strays. And there was no point learning about infected types until I at least knew a bit about the natural ones. Probably. I think that's a good reasoning, girl. That makes sense. Not that I knew enough about any of this to really make an educated decision. Actually, you know what? Milky was right and I was wrong about Elliot. I thought Elliot was the Esper or something like that. I thought Elliot was the Esper. But Milky said that he was the new vampire. And you had convinced me to go along with that. So you were correct about that, Milky. I'll give you that. I will give you that. Gotta adjust because, I keep moving around. I expected Velos to direct me to where I could find the particular topic, but instead he let out a shrill whistle and reverberated through the quiet library. Yeah, we were both right. I thought for a moment someone else would bring the book, but no, the book sort of brought itself. Did it fly? After a few seconds, there was a faint whistling. As I turned to the stacks, I saw a book zipping through the air straight toward Velos' outstretched hand. What? What's wrong? All right, well, the book is actually zipping through the air. That's pretty cool. Oh, I like the display of his magic powers. Yes, I do. After a few seconds, there was a faint whistling. As I turned to the stacks, I saw a book zipping through the air straight toward Velos' outstretched hand. Okay, that is both weird and convenient. He handed it over to me and I took it gingerly. Despite that it couldn't apparently fly, it really looked like a normal book. Allie led me to a nearby table, and I followed along in a sort of daze. So I need to go contact the agency, but I don't really want to leave you here alone. You still seem pretty shaken up. I'll send someone to stay with you, okay? I want to say that I don't need a babysitter, but I kind of feel like I might. Thanks. She shot me a grin and waved at me as she hurried through the same door where we'd come in. I took a seat and let out a quiet groan as I opened the book in front of me. I was trying to not think about how weird this all was. I couldn't help it. This was weird. It was really, really weird. It was weird, girl, real. If I stopped to actually think about all the implications of it all, I was definitely going to freak out again. Instead, I stared down at the book, hoping that doing some reading would distract me. Vampires are one of the oldest known paranormal species. Their existence dates back nearly as far as humans. Vampires appear in some form in the mythology of nearly every ancient culture. That's true, actually. That is true. Little is known about their beginnings, but some speculate they originate on the other side of what we now refer to as the Divide, a metaphysical barrier that separates the human realm from the paranormal realms. The Divide? That sounds kind of ominous. Though not as prolific as humans, vampires are capable of reproducing naturally. Many human legends paint them as cursed undead beings, but they are very much alive. Many of their purported weaknesses are vastly exaggerated, or even entirely made up. Unlike the vampires of legend and lore, real vampires are not weak to such things as garlic, or religious artifacts, such as holy water and crosses. Huh? MC said, huh? It's time for water. If I ever meet one, I guess taking them out for Italian was still a go. Oh, girl, good one, Noru. So I guess he can see his reflection in the mirror. You know? Probably. Vampires are, however, weak to sunlight. They do not burst into flames or turn to ash, but they are incredibly photosensitive. Oh, okay. Elliot, the Italian vampire. Poor Elliot. Natural vampires require very specially formulated ointments and creams to protect their sensitive skin from the harsh UV radiation of the sun, and must always wear eye protection when outside. Wow, sounds like white people. Vampire sunscreen, probably SPF 10,000 or something. One area in which legends are accurate is in the vampiric need to consume the blood of living creatures. The The exact biological function driving this need is unknown. I made you choke on your teeth. I mean, like, accurate. What is that but not sunscreen, okay? Vampires are capable of eating other food, but derive very little nourishment from it. Their primary source of sustenance is the lifeblood of, among other creatures, humans. Because they must survive on entirely liquid diet. Natural vampires are born with a shorter digestive tract and 3 stomachs. Are you telling me that Marc has 3 stomachs? Twitch, are you sure you want to send that? Oh, Twitch, why are you policing Eshberry like that? 3 stomachs. Vampires have 3 stomachs. Yeah, that definitely never came up in movies. Real? That's interesting. Why would you need 3 stomachs if you have a liquid diet? That doesn't make any sense. Ad gel's gonna start in like 30 seconds. Vampires were apparently evil, blood-sucking cows. Girl, you did not just call Marc an evil, blood-sucking cow. Girl. I shuddered. Okay, gross. That was just gross. Esh says, listen, I was thinking about how vampires will completely drain adult humans of blood in movies, and I started wondering if a human stomach could even hold that much liquid. Oh, that's why you were coming up with 3 stomachs. Turns out, barely. You'd be in a full food coma, though. So I decided they needed 3 stomachs. Oh. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Makes sense. So you could completely drain an entire human body. All the blood, all of it. 3 stomachs. Okay, fair. Real. That totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. I shuddered. Okay, gross. That was just gross. Enjoying the book. I nearly jumped out of my skin at the sound of a voice so close to my ear. I came really close to picking up the book and smacking whoever was behind me, but I realized who it was a split second after they spoke. It's our boy. It's today's poster boy. Hi, Marc. You startled me. Should have smacked him. Real. That would have been great. I'm terribly sorry. He didn't look sorry at all. You were so absorbed in your reading that you didn't even hear me come up behind you. You didn't have to deliberately scare me. I did apologize. He joined me at the table and looked at the book in front of me, eyebrows raised. Vampires. What led you to select that as a starting point? I don't know. I guess because the topic is kind of familiar. I mean, you hear a lot about them in movies and things. Marc scoffed. The butchered truth popular media presents as entertainment is hardly going to give you familiarity with what real vampires are like. We are literally nothing like what you see in the movies. What he's telling us, y'all, is that Twilight is all a lie. All right? Penny agrees. That's what she's woofing about. We watch those movies purely for comedic value. Real. Whoa, wait! You're a vampire? No way! No way! I didn't totally guess that one correctly. So I can gloat to Milky because I was right. Nora being shocked again. Real. I was right, Milky. Don't forget that. Also, Rue is a genius. No one should forget that ever. Okay. All right. Rue is a genius. Milky says, boo. Meanwhile, I'm going to laugh in your face. While I drink water. Sorry if you post this as a VOD. I hope people watching know the person dragging Nora this much is the person who created the character and wrote the story. Yes, exactly, y'all. Listen, okay? Listen. The biggest gremlin in this entire room is Eshberry, okay? Everything is Eshberry's fault. Nothing is my fault. Nothing is Nora's fault. And nothing is Marc's fault. You want to know whose fault all of this is? All of the messes, it's Eshberry's fault. Eshberry is literally responsible for everything. All of this, your fault. 100%. Except for the one thing I almost spit out my water because of Milky. Milky's trying to get revenge by putting tentacles in the chat, knowing that tentacles they gross me out a little bit, okay? I'm a little grossed out and creeped out by tentacles, and yet Milky is spamming the chat with tentacles now to get revenge. But listen, I'm gonna keep gloating, okay? Go ahead and spam your little tentacles at me, okay? All right? Me and Penny, we're laughing all the way to the right bank. Oh, okay, y'all. MC said, "Whoa, wait, you're a vampire? No way, girl, how could you not have guessed?" That came out way louder than I intended. My little screech of surprise practically reverberated off the ceiling. You and Milky. Oh wait, I have to do the crazy cat voice.
Whoa! You're a vampire? No way! That came out way louder than I intended. My little screech of surprise practically reverberated off the ceiling. Screech! I can't believe it! You're going to gloat for a week? Dang it, it's Milky. Yes, I am. For a whole week. That was the deal. I get to gloat for a week because I was right. Shh. Sorry. I may have forgotten I was in the library there for a moment. I don't know that for gloating in a cat voice.
Anyway, but seriously, he was a vampire? No, wait. That actually makes perfect sense. His perfectly chiseled features, pale skin, not to mention that snobby attitude, real. Basically, he was exactly how I imagined vampires to be. You really like the librarian right now. As a matter of fact, I am. He smiled and leaned way too close for comfort. I did my best to not scramble away from him. Look at how he's looking at me. He's looking at me like a scamp, like a bad boy. He's looking at me like he's gonna get me in trouble. I like that. Yes, I do. Okay, listen. I'm taking a screenshot of his face right now. Let's get in trouble together, Marc. Let's do that. Can we get in trouble together? Unusual. Okay, we're going for a bad ending. So I'm gonna lie through my teeth. Yeah. It's not disgusting. It's just unique. It's a unique need. Yeah. Yes. Whoopsies. Sorry, y'all. Besides, humans eat gross things all the time. They do. That's true. So, you do find it disgusting. That's not what I said. I was just observing that, considering what other people eat, they have no right to judge what vampires eat. It really was kind of gross, though. Yeah, that had to be the wrong answer. We totally lied through our teeth. Look, he's angry. He looks angry. Humans are so quick to look down on others for their odd behaviors, when humans are among the worst offenders of much of what they call disgusting. Hey, I wasn't looking down on you. In fact, I think it's been the other way around since you got here. Real. Pop-Tarts are gross. I like Pop-Tarts, Milky. I haven't had a Pop-Tart since I was a kid, but I remember I really liked them. I do. He scoffed and looked away. Why did Allie send this guy again? But then, I suppose there's a reasonable chance that you're not human anyway. Well, we don't know that yet. If you're fortunate, you'll find out you're not. Why are you so, racist against humans? Don't be like that. Did humans do you wrong? They did, didn't you? They abused you or something. You had a bad experience with humans. I don't think that's true. I know plenty of humans who are decent individuals. The only vampire I know isn't making a great impression, though. In any case, I don't know anything about myself yet, other than that I'm not a vampire. Not that there would be anything wrong with that if I was. So there. I see. Are all vampires this weird? Look, he's smiling again. He likes us, you guys. He likes us. I think he's acting all grumpy because he's at Sunday, he's at Sunbun. But he loves us. Did I even just think that? Of course vampires were weird. They were vampires. Being a vampire was weird in and of itself. Girl, that's not a nice thing to think about this man. Maybe he is thinking that it's weird to be whatever you are. Did you think about that? Your friend is probably returned by now. Perhaps you would be more comfortable in the club room. Well, I'm fine here. I would be more comfortable there. The combined smell of magic and moldy books is giving me a headache. Oh, well, I wouldn't want to inconvenience you, Your Majesty. I wasn't aware libraries offended the delicate vampire nose. I'll be sure to keep it in mind for future reference. I stood and picked up the book, intending to return it. Leave it. The enchantment on it will cause it to return on its own after having been abandoned, unless you wish to borrow it. Well, I'm sure that talking to the real thing has been more informative than reading a book. He left the book on the table and he walked me back to the door to the club room. As he set his hand on the table, on the handle, he turned back to me, frowning slightly. Were you really only interested in vampires because of movies? Well, I've done some vampire research in the past, for personal stories. I guess I was curious how the real thing would add up to what I learned about in folklore. Marc gave me a look that seemed almost pleased. He's like, oh, yes, she's interested in me. Yes. But I can't let her know that I'm into her, okay? I have to act like a sunbun. It's because of me. Exactly. That's what Marc is like this. What Ashbury says. Are you sure it's not because of me? Internally. Yes. Folklore is still significantly off, but it's better than anything modern. If you ever have questions, you can always ask me. Oh, he likes us for sure. He's hitting on us. 100%. He loves me. I wouldn't find it too much trouble to answer your questions. Really? Thanks. I may take you up on it. To be honest, this whole thing is still really weird. It's like trying to find my footing on something where it's difficult to find your footing. Wow, Rue. You really spiraled out of control that time. You lost your edge. Marc was silent for a moment before he reached into the inner pocket of his blazer and pulled out a phone. In that case, what's your number? Oh, you're getting my number. He really likes us, y'all. He really likes us. I'm blushing. I'll send you a text so you can add me to your contacts. And since you also agreed to help me with my Shakespeare, then my helping you navigate your footing in paranormal society can be considered compensation. Oh, okay. Unless you don't want to. No, I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, really, I'm really fine with it. Probably. To be honest, I was a little nervous about giving my contact details to a vampire, but at that point, there was no reason not to. It wasn't like I was inviting him into my house or something. Not yet. I wonder if the invitation thing is even true. Ooh, I wonder. I did get his number, Milky. You so cute. I'm totally flirting with a vampire right now. I got his number. You know what that means? I'm winning. I'm winning right now. I gave him my number, and he put his phone away. I assumed he would text me later. He opened the club room door and waited for me to go first. Allie was walking in the main door at the same time we were coming in from the library. Ah, good, you're back too. I was about to go get you. Did you learn anything? A little, I guess. I think I just need time to process all this. Understandable. Thanks for staying with her, Marc. He shrugged. It wasn't a problem. I'll be going to class now, though. Thanks, Marc. I'll see you later. He just nodded and quietly left the club room without looking back. Yeah, he was definitely weird. Girl, he wasn't weird. He was fine. Allie sprawled out on the sofa as if she was exhausted. So I found your bridge creep. I shuddered. What was it? A Spriggan. I don't think it meant any harm, but it's been gently relocated to a less populated area. You know, it said, "You're back," to me. How did it know I was back? I mean, it was acting like it knew me. Allie shook her head and shrugged. Wild Fae say a lot of strange things. I wouldn't put too much stock in anything it said, but... What? Wild Fae don't show themselves to just anyone. Even I can't see them if they want to hide. The fact that you could see it. Good grief, Allie. It cannot possibly get any weirder than it already has. So just say it. I think you should start researching more deeply into the Fae. The fact you could see the Spriggan so easily could mean that's where your heritage lies. The agency guys agreed. Well, at this point there's no weirder. It's no weirder than finding out I'm a vampire, and I've secretly been sneaking out for years to eat my neighbors. Or finding out you're a witch. Or anything else magical, mystical, and or weird. No doubt. Thank you for redeeming Stretch. Milky, appreciate that. So now what? Well, you can hide in the club and read all day, but I also got permission to take you home early. On what grounds? On the grounds that you have a very, very bad migraine. That isn't actually a lie. My head really does feel ready to explode. It gets easier, I promise it does. I hope so. Want me to take you home? Actually, yeah, that would be really great. By the way, she stood and went to pick up something by the door. My bag! We found it hanging at the bottom of the bridge. I took it from her and checked inside. Everything seemed to be there. Did you put sunglasses on Runicle? Milky, what have you done? How did you even do that? How did you even do that? Maybe Brenna left it there after I, ran off screaming. Well, at least we were able to recover it. Allie led the way out to the hall while I fumbled around trying to text my idiot brother. Going home. Bad headache. Have permission. I doubted he'd respond. He never did. During the walk to the car, I did my best to look ill in case anyone stopped us. It wasn't completely an act. Now that the adrenaline was gone, and I didn't have a weird conversation to distract me, I actually was feeling a bit woozy. Oh, you can modify a channel emote. Very clever, Milky. Allie didn't really know much about the Fae in general, so on the way home we mostly talked about the other club members. We talked about boys. Well, she didn't go into all the details, just the basics. Elliot and Marc were both vampires. Elliot was infected a few years ago, but Marc was born that way. Danny was a werewolf. I was right about Danny. Also infected a few years ago. Ewan was a Fae, a Doulahan. Basically a headless rider. Hence, the head coming off. William was an Esper. Okay, I think I might have been wrong about that one. Which was essentially a human with psychic powers. I think we figured William out, though, when our lunch went flying. William did that. Brenna was also some type of Fae. Velos, Allie, and Corvin were all in the wizard category. I was right about Corvin being a wizard. There were several other members too. Some from pretty much every category. A lot of them never showed up or participated. And like she said before, there were other staff members who were cryptids as well, including the school principal. It was just so weird. After Allie dropped me at home, I went straight to my room and crashed. Brenna is a Kate Sede, which is basically a cat fairy. Oh! I really, really hoped strange encounters like that morning weren't going to become the norm. But I was definitely going to be avoiding the bridge for a while. I didn't think that I could stand another major incident. Not anytime soon, anyway. And given what Allie had hinted at regarding the upcoming holiday, it seemed like it would be best to lay low for a while. All right, y'all. Chapter 1. Tea with a Vampire. It's time to save our game. Next time, that's what we're going to do. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's go to the main menu. Let's go to the main menu. Oh, Esh says, don't worry, Nora. No more major supernatural incidents in store for you again. Sips tea. You're a total liar, Eshberry. We all know that things are not going to go well for this poor girl. Things are not going to go well. It's going to go bad. Real. I'm going to go to the main menu. You're totally a liar. How dare you lie to us like that? How dare you lie to poor Nora? Nora Rue doesn't deserve that. Y'all, wow, a lot happened today. We completed the common route for Changeling, that's right. And we were successful in entering the very first route for today's poster boy, that's right. This is Marc, and Marc is a vampire. You know what that means? It means Rue was correct. Rue was right. Okay, I totally pegged him as the vampire, a natural-born vampire. I was right and Milky was wrong. Ha ha ha! Well, if you all had fun, if you like Otome games, visual novels, dating sims, and all-around romance, and you had a good time, consider giving me a follow or a subscribe, okay? I'm so glad we could spend time together today, Stunners, because you're so radiant and I have the best time ever. And here's what our goal, okay? Our goal starting out is this. Find bad endings. If we fail to achieve a bad ending, we will go back, pick different choices, skip through until we can get to a bad ending. I typically end up on the bad ending first when I play Otome games. It's my superpower. It's kind of amazing if I don't get a bad ending. So anyways, I know there's one bad ending that we might be able to check out easily next time in the common route that Esh told us about. So I might do that. It was fun, says Milky, even if I was wrong about one of the guys. Yes, wow. I like this bet. I'm going to keep gloating, y'all. I'm going to gloat for a whole week.